Micah, if you can hear me. Micah, are you there?
Hello.
All right, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. That's cool. Thank you about making me see this day. I'm also happy for the knowledge that is going to be shared today. Please, let's do something that will be help to each and every one of us here and help us achieve our goal this year to earn at least 10 naira each. We thank you for all of them and help Mr. Victor let me be able to out the important and things that will help us scale through. We thank all of you.
Amen. Thank you so much for that short but highly impactful prayer. Good evening again, once everyone. Good evening, Micah. Good evening, Cisco. Good evening, Manuel. Good evening, Shoma. Good evening, Arinze. Good evening, Omotayo. And good evening, Karina. Okay, so I think by now I'm starting to see a pattern. I'm starting to see the serious ones, the ones always turning up, right, out of everybody. So these are all very familiar faces here. I think I know everyone here personally. That's great. That means I'm gradually attracting the main people. The rest are just their spectators. We will know the players very soon. So yesterday we talked a lot about so many things. We talked about first the right mindset for affiliate success 2026. We talked about the growth mindset, resilient mindset, and investment mindset. We talked about the non-negotiable fundamentals you must know going into 2026. Meaning, number one, you must have a lead generation system. 2, you must have a lead nurturing system. 3, you must build a lead conversion system. Over the course of our journey together, we'll be having future classes where I'll be teaching you how to build each of these different systems. Okay, so don't worry too much about it right now. And then we talked about the recommended sales funnel that you should be using going to 2023, which is traffic, WhatsApp community, Telegram DM, and then sales, right? And finally, we were still talking about positioning before the little issue we had yesterday that caused us to finish up prematurely. But if you have not yet listened to the recording, do so. I know for those of you listening live, the recording have not yet been made available, but it will soon be made available. For those of you that are listening to this as a recording, if you have not yet watched or listened to the one recording, I advise that you do so that you get a little bit more of context before coming back here. Okay, so right now we're just going to continue from where we stopped yesterday. And like I said, yesterday we were talking about positioning. We defined position as the reason people choose one brand over the other. Okay, and we said that positioning is a way of making yourself stand out in the eyes of your target audience. Okay, and then we talked about the job of positioning. What is positioning actually designed to do? What does positioning do for you? And the first thing we said was it was to establish authority, and I think that is where we stopped. We stopped at to establish authority. We are just going to move into number 2. The second job of positioning is to build trust. Write it down. So just continue from where you stopped. Number 1, to establish authority. Number 2, to build trust. To build trust. Now, you are very much aware that before a customer can buy from you, the KLT factor must be established. This is something that you learn in basic sales 101. And if you don't know what the KLT factor is, it is the know, like, and trust factor. Meaning your prospect needs to know you, like you, and most likely trust you. Right? The first 2 is required to meet up with the last one, which is the trust. And the trust is the most important thing, because if they don't trust you, they are not going to give you their money. So the customer is always asking, why should I trust you? How do I know you are not lying to me? Why should I give you my money? Why should I believe whatever you are saying is true? Why should I hope that you are going to deliver on the promises that you made for me? The customers are always asking this subconsciously. So positioning what helps you to build trust. It helps you to get them to answer these questions in their mind, for them to be able to trust that, okay, you are who you say you are. They're able to trust that, okay, you are not lying. Okay, there's a reason they should give you their money. Okay, that is what positioning does for you. It helps you to build trust. And then number three, it helps to reduce resistance to your promise. So one guy I love so much that I follow, and I so much love his teachings, is Andrew Tate, right? Andrew Tate. You may or may not know him, right? But in one of his podcasts I was listening to, he said something very profound that stuck to me up to this day. And he said that what? That sales is simply people walking to a room and making a promise. Okay. So you just walk into somewhere, you just go somewhere and you make a promise. Now, that is for physical sales anyway. Digital sales, you are basically coming online to promise people things, right? On your status, you are promising people things. In your class, you are promising people things. If you have a VSL, you are promising people things. On your sales page, you are promising people things, right? You are promising them that when they give you their money, that you are going to deliver. You are promising them that when they give you their money, they are going to get so results. You are promising them that once they buy this product, they will get so benefits. You are promising them that when they pay for your service, they are going to get a better return on investment, right? You are promising them all sorts of things, depending on whatever you're selling. But the point is, anytime you are trying to sell, all you are basically doing is you are promising people things. And they need to believe your promise. They need to not resist your promise. If they are resisting your promise, which they often do, they are not going to buy from you. But positioning helps what? To reduce resistance to your promise. So if your positioning is not done right, people will not take you seriously. Remember, I said that positioning is what? Your audience perception of you. That is why you always hear what they call see finish. Now, if you're anything like me, and if your friends are anything like mine, you will notice that when you started affiliate marketing newly and you started posting the way you are posting on your status, a lot of people might have mocked you, right? Your friends might have mocked you. When did all this one starts, right? None of them will buy from you. They will just they don't see you finish. That's the word, and that's what, because in their face, their perception of you is not where it's supposed to be. They just see you as their guy, that's their friend. You know, they don't see you finish. That's the word for it. So because of that, whatever thing you are promising, they cannot take you seriously. Right? They will not take you serious. They cannot take. They'll not even believe what you are, all your big claims that you are making. To them, it's just like it's a meme, right? But that's very okay, because what, they are just your friends. They have finished. But this cannot be the same thing with your prospects coming in. So you need to build promise so that your prospects too will not see you finish. If your the worst thing that can happen to you is your leads to see you finish. Once your leads see you finish, then there is nothing you can do again, because you can never sell to those leads unless you find a way to get them to unsee you finish. You get? So positioning helps you to reduce resistance to your promise. Now, position is what? Position involves pre-selling yourself before selling your offer. Positioning involves pre-selling yourself before selling your offer. It is very, very important. It is a very subtle thing. It's very mild. It's not a very loud event, but it is very important. It subconsciously changes the dynamics. All right. It involves reselling yourself before selling your offer. The mistake that most business people, and specifically affiliates, do is all they are concentrating on is selling their course. All they are concentrating on is selling the benefits of their course, how you make so amounts, how you do this, how you do that when you buy their product. But they don't think about pre-selling themselves. They don't think about positioning themselves. They don't think about getting people to see them as an authority, getting people to see them as someone that they want to learn from. Do you get? And the reason why this happened is that, number one, they don't know they should even be doing it. Ignorance. They don't even know that they should be pre-selling themselves first before trying to sell the offer. And number two, and more importantly, even if they know that they should be doing that, they don't know how to do it. So we have two problems. They don't know that they should be doing it, and even when they know that they should be doing it, they don't know how to do it. And the truth is, you can pre-sell yourself all the time. It's not until you come out and say, I am this, I am that before you're pre-selling yourself. No. Every little thing, like I said, it is subtle. Every little thing that you do involves pre-selling yourself. There's a reason why in most of the converting class scripts, before the class starts, you see the person taking the class, right, having some kind of introduction, right, giving people a little background story, telling people what they do, right, including their, links to their accounts. There was a time that one of the scripts I used back then would involve telling people to go and search your name on Google. And they would, that's before you don't just tell people to go and search your name on Google. Make sure you have already optimized your name for SEO, that if they search a relevant term, right, it's going to pop up. In my case, it was Imperial Vic. If you go and search Imperial Vic, you're going to see my name. Currently, if you search Emperor of Arts on Google, you should be able to see my name. I think the last time I checked, you should. Wait, let me reconfirm it too. Let me not come and yes. If you search Emperor of Arts, you're going to see my X accounts. You're going to see, you'll see me. Okay, you are going to see me. If you search Imperial Vic, you're also going to see me. It's Imperial Vic that bring out most of the things about me, because that is what I've been optimizing for a very long time. That's my username across multiple platforms. You see my Instagram account, you see my TikTok account. This is the Imperial Vic I'm talking about. I'm just going to show you something very important. You need to have this for yourself. Just copy that and set it. You are going to see me. It's just going to be me, Osho, right? You see my pictures, you see my name, you see everything. Right now, imagine you attend my class as a prospect, and I tell you, for you to verify and see that I am legit, just search this on Google, and you are going to find me, you are going to see me. And you actually go on Google and you search it, and you see me. Automatically, your perception of me as what has increased. Do you get? Currently now, I've also built relevance across other things. Like now, if you go and search who is the founder of Swift Market, or just search founder of Swift Market, you're also going to see my name, right? You're going to see my my website. You're going to see my Facebook, my Instagram, my X, my TikTok, and yes, and my LinkedIn. You're going to see me across all social media platforms. Okay, so that is how you can build. You are pre-selling yourself. So people come to you before you start the class. What you have pre-sold yourself just with that little trick. And trust me, every single class that I held doing this thing first, there was always a better conversion than the classes that I did not do it. Okay, so let's say I have 200 leads, and in the class that I'm going to do this simple trick at the start of the class, let's say maybe I'll close like 8, 9, 10 sales. Who knows? Right. But in a class that I did not do this, I might close like 2, 3, 4 sales. Why does this happen? This is because what? Once you have pre-sold them before the start of your class, they are taking you much more seriously. They are seeing you as an authority. They are seeing you as someone that they can listen to. So because of that, they'll pay more attention to the class. That's number one. The fact that they have seen this and they have gone to search, this guy is on this guy here, is on Google self. There's this feeling that people get when they search for you and they see you on Google. It gives you so much, should I say, authenticity, credibility. Yes, that's the word. It gives you so much credibility. So because of that, what they're most likely to believe everything I have to say more, right? It's going to reduce resistance to my promise, so that when I finally tell them that, see, this is what I'm going to help you do, they believe it more easily. That's number one way you can implement this pre-selling yourself. Okay. Another way you can do it is through your sales funnel. Through your sales funnel. Now, for those of you that have me on WhatsApp, if you go on my WhatsApp and you click on my, my name to turn up my WhatsApp profile, and you go to my WhatsApp catalog, you yourself, you know that, this is not the person you message anyhow. Because of what? That is positioning. Let me just take a screenshot of my catalog and show you. Maybe I'll drop a link so that you check it out for yourself and understand what I mean, because it's going to be much more difficult for me to explain it visually. But this is it. If you can just click on this link and check out the catalog for yourself. Now, you are going to instantly just coming in, you feel like, okay. So this is a serious guy that's here for business, not just any kind of person. You get that is another way of positioning. I've had a lot of people that's come to my their leads now, they just come into my DM for the first time, and immediately they start calling me sir. Why does that happen? Now, to show you that this is not just like because maybe they are just entering my DM, that's why I compared it. I generated leads to my normal WhatsApp, where this I don't have, normal WhatsApp, there's no catalog. And then my WhatsApp business, there's catalog. Now, on my normal WhatsApp, if they come in, they can be using words like bro, alpha. They just like chat me casually. But if they come into this my WhatsApp business, they start using words like sir, coach, even when I've not told them I am coach before. Why? Because when they come in, sometimes they check out my when they want to save my contact, they'll see that catalog there. They'll now check the catalog. By the time they go through it and finish, by the time they'll scroll through and finish, they're like, this is a big man, kind of, right? They have this perception, a very different perception of me than if they just came in and just saved my number like that. You get the point. That's pre-selling yourself. It's not just for fancy. It's not just for design aesthetics. No, that is pre-selling yourself. Another way you can pre-sell yourself is through the way you do things. Now, the way you post on your status shows, or if you are posting in an authoritative way, like you share thoughts, you post like a thought leader. Yeah, that's the word. You post like a thought leader. Now, who is a thought leader? A thought leader is not someone who is afraid. It's someone who is not afraid to take a stance on a topic or on an idea. There are people that they just come up and they'll pick a topic and they'll talk about it in details. And you will know that this one is not just saying it because other people are saying it. He knows what he's talking about. Okay, for those of you that viewed my status today, or yes, of course, what I did on the group, now that is a kind of thought leader kind of process, because those kind of things, the way I structured it from beginning to the end, is not something that you can just you just a tweet that you screenshotted and post. No, this is me coming up with it originally, and the way you structure it, you will know that this guy knows what he's talking about. That's positioning. Do you get? Now, a lot of you, the only thing that you post on your status is you post no one is coming to save you. You now post videos that other people have made, motivational videos that other people have made. You take screenshot of tweets that other people have made and now come and post it. And then you post testimonials. That's all. Everything is borrowed. No original content from you. Nothing to show that you have sense. Your own is just to take screenshots, come and post. Carry video, come and post. Carry testimonial, come and post. You don't teach anybody anything. You're not pre-selling yourself. You're not positioning yourself. And all these things, when you are posting those screenshots, they know it's not you that posted it. They know you are not the original person that came up with that idea. So not all prospects are stupid. They know that this one is just, okay, let's just see how it goes. You get? So I'm not saying you should not post your motivational videos. I'm not saying you should not post the screenshots of tweets and all of that. I'm saying that you should mix it up with content that you created personally too. Right? Put up write-ups, use text. If you must post videos, post your own videos too. Record videos and post it. I post videos. Right? Post videos too. You self make tweets on Twitter, X. Take a screenshot, let your name show that you are the one that wrote that tweet. Come and post it too. You self no small. Do you understand? You don't just be posting. You see, in fact, you see those tweets that you used to see. When next you see it, don't post it. Just carry the thing that the person posted. Copy. If you want to copy the exact same thing, copy it. Go and post it on X2 by yourself. Then screenshot that your own and come and post. They will not know that you copied it somewhere. After all, everything, see, nothing is really original like that. Everyone is just, copying and modeling and iterating from each other, right? You just take what you have seen before, just make it a little bit better and all of that. Okay, so it's not until the thing came straight from your head. Look at those same screenshots that you saw that you want to post. Take it, go to your X, type, post it normal, as if you are the one that just created it from scratch. Maybe you can change one or two words, one or two things, so that it's not just too clear that you copied it and stole it somewhere, right? Change some things, add your own personality to it, then post it. Then take that screenshot of your own with your name showing, with your own username, come and post. Those are the things that build that positioning. That is you pre-selling yourself. Over time, people begin to see you as what? As a thought leader, as an authority. Okay, as an authority. That's positioning. So now there are two major types of positioning, right? There are two major types of positioning, and these two types of positioning are built on the two type of decision-making frameworks that we have. So, like I said, two types of positioning, and these two types of positioning are built on the two types of decision-making frameworks that we have. Now, for those of you that are my students at that are my art students that are part of the Emperor of Arts Circle, you are already going to know this because we talked about this in details during the just concluded Emperor of Arts Bootcamp. So I won't talk about it too much, but I'm just going to brush up on it just a little for those of you here that were not part of that class. Okay. And what are these two decision-making frameworks? We have internal and external decisions. We have internal decisions and we have external decisions. Now, I'll start with external decisions. What are external decisions? What are internal decisions? An external decision is a decision that is influenced by someone else, that is influenced by an external factor, just like the word implies, right? This is the kind of decision you make based on what someone else convinced you to do, or based on little things, maybe an assumption. This is a decision you make as a result of an assumption, or it's not a strong decision like that. Okay, and people think about it, and then, like, when you make this decision, you can easily change it, right? It's not a strong decision. Any decision that is made externally is just like a house built on a weak foundation. At any point in time, it can crash. Okay, and then when you are constantly trying to convince people, you are trying to get them to make external decisions, and that's not what you should be doing. What you want to be doing is getting people to make internal decisions. Now, what is an internal decision? An internal decision is a decision that you make on your own, even though maybe you were influenced by something to make that decision, but you added your own logic to it, you added your own reasoning to it, and then you internalized that decision. I'm going to give you a very good example of convincing and then persuading. Now, persuading is internal decisions, convincing is external decisions. When you persuade people, you are trying to get them to take internal decisions. When you try to convince people, you are trying to make them take external decisions. And when people take external decisions, they can easily quit from it. It's not strong, it doesn't carry weight. But if they make internal decisions, they will always stand by that decision. Even if that decision might be wrong, they will always stand by it. Okay, you always stand by it. So I'll give you a very good example. Now, I made a post earlier today, right, on my status, and then I dropped it on the group also. If you look at everything I wrote there, I was trying to pass an information across. But if you notice how I passed it across, at the end of it, I did not say go and change your friends. Okay, let me go back and check exactly how I structured it. Exactly how I structured it. Now, I said what? Okay, this is it. I said, now, knowing this, will it not be wiser to surround yourself with the kind of people that will inspire you to do better? Now, can you see how I structured it? I am framing it as a recommendation, not a command. I'm not telling you, go and change your circle of friends. No. I'm telling you, will it not be wiser for you to change it? Okay? So, the difference there is now, if you decide to change it, you are not changing it because I told you to change it. You are changing it because you considered if it's going to be wise for you to change it or not. Are you getting the point? So I am persuading you. I'm not convincing you. You can still decide not to. It's up to you. Do you get? But I'm just telling you, okay, Alpha, this is it. This is the advantage. This is the disadvantage. Now, with this in mind, what do you think is the best thing you should do right now? Should you still continue on this path, or you should change it? Now, that's persuasion. And that is the best kind of positioning you can do, because you are not trying to convince these people about anything. You are just subconsciously infiltrating their mind and positioning those thoughts in their mind and leaving them to make the decisions on their own. And when they make that internal decision, they are going to stick by it. They are going to stick by it. So based on this now, like I said, we have internal decision and external decisions, and these are the two that represent the two types of positioning that we have, which is internal and external positioning. Okay, internal and external positioning. When you try to build positioning externally, that is by trying to convince people that you are the best. You try to convince people that this is that is this. It's not going to hold weight, right? You are going to struggle to do this, number one. And number two, is that perception is not going to last long in their mind. At any point in time, that perception can change, right? But when you influence people's perception of you internally, that is by those subtle persuasion, those little things that you do that get them to start thinking that it's like this guy has sense. It's like this guy is very knowledgeable in this area on their own, right? Those kind of perception is going to last longer. For example, you've seen me here, right? Most of you guys have been following me for quite some time now. Most of you have been attending my classes right from 2024, right? For 2 years now. Attended. Anytime you see me hosting something, you want to come. Why? Because you have this perception of me that you have built. I did not convince you to think that of me. No, you made the decision internally. You convinced yourself that, no, this guy is not someone I should joke with. This guy is someone I should listen to. This guy is someone that anytime he's talking, I should carry my book and pen and listen to him. I did not tell you to think that way. I did not tell you that that is what I am. But you made that decision on your own internally. But guess what? I influenced that decision through my positioning. So how exactly do you build this positioning? There are 3 major ways you do it. Carry your pen, write it down. You build positioning through 3 major ways. Number 1 is, we call it surface positioning. Surface positioning. And this is the one most people do, but this is also the least kind of positioning. This is if you focus on only this one, you can still get reasonable results, but you are not going to get as much result as you can get, right? Surface positioning. You also have the psychographic positioning, and you have demonstration positioning. These are the 3 types of positioning, or these are the 3 ways you can build positioning. We have surface positioning, we have psychographic and demographic. My bad. Psychographic and demographic positioning, they are together. And then we have demonstration positioning. Though I'm going to explain each of them very shortly. Maybe in a future class, we can just have a class that is just based on positioning, because this is a very deep topic and I love teaching about it. Okay, so now, what is surface positioning? Surface positioning has to do with how you are able to get people, like the first impression of you. Yes, that's surface positioning. The first impression of you. So when you hear about brand identity, branding, and all of that, that is surface positioning, where you have a logo, you have a tagline, you have all these first things that people get to when they get to see when they meet you. The first thing that they see, it can be like your profile picture. Of course, your profile picture is part of positioning. I hope you know that. If you have the kind of picture that you have, it's like your digital CV. That's the first thing people used to judge you, your profile picture. So if you are just using any kind of picture, just looking at you, it will determine to a very large extent how people are going to evaluate you, how they will rate you. So that's surface positioning. Your profile picture is part of it. Your bio is part of your surface positioning. You don't just write anything. Abbas girl, okay? I don't. We know that you don't give a fuck about anybody's opinion of you, but it's not your bio that you come and write it. Do you understand? Do you get? So you want to position yourself properly through your bio, through your profile picture. That's your surface positioning. Now I showed you my catalog. Now that's also a surface positioning method. Why? Because it's the first thing people see when they get to my WhatsApp, right? That's surface. Okay, and surface positioning is extremely important, because without it, the other 2, you cannot even implement it. You can't implement psychographic and demographic. You can't implement demonstration, because once people have their first impression of you, it takes some time to change, and it's very, very difficult to change. Sometimes the impression that they have will not even give them, will not even allow you an opportunity to change it. So if I get the impression that you are a scammer and I block you, how are you going to come and change that impression of me after I have blocked you? Do you get? So surface positioning, even though it's not only it alone cannot get you all the results you want, is extremely important, because it is the one that lays the groundwork for other types of positioning. So how do you implement this? Like I said, of course, number one, have a good profile picture, have a clean bio. If you can get yourself a very aesthetically pleasing catalog like this, even better. Now, surface positioning also has to do with your traffic source, right? If you are posting videos on TikTok, you know that this is the first point of contact your customers will have with you. You don't shoot videos in an anyhow background. All those things are still positioning. Do you get? You don't use any kind camera. No. I know they said start with what you have and start where you are, but you need to be strategic about what you are starting with. Seriously. If not, you will start and you still remain there. It's not like you not start, you start, but you will not make much progress. Yes, that's the truth. So even if you are starting with what you have, in fact, don't start with what you have. Be resourceful enough to get what you don't have and use it to start. I'll say it again. Don't just start with what you have. Be resourceful enough to get what you don't have and start with it. What does this mean? First of all, what does it mean to be resourceful? Resourcefulness is the ability for you to acquire things that you do not have yet. Or is the ability for you to make use of things available to supplement the things you do not have. Yes, that's the correct way I want to put it. Resourcefulness is your ability to make use of the things available to supplement the things you do not yet have. So these things available may not be your own. They may not belong to you. But the important thing is that they are available and it is possible for you to use them. And you use them in place of, without having that your own first. So for example, now you want to shoot content. You don't have a good iPhone. All you have is Android. No, don't go and shoot content without your Android. They will drag you. And even if they don't drag you, most importantly, you are going to ruin your perception and your position in the eyes of your prospects. Yes, I'm telling you. When I first started out and I said, they say start with what you start with what you have. I went and used my techno, do video and posts. I was telling people that I'll teach them how to make money. And they said I should first use that my money and buy a better phone. In the comment section of my TikTok, it was very, very depressing. I just left because it was like, Jesus. It's very, very clear that you don't have this money that you're promising to teach people. All right. Even if you don't have it, we don't need to know. Do you get? So don't start with that one. Now, instead of that, your resourcefulness is you what? Identifying someone that has that iPhone. It can be your friend. It can be someone close to you. It can be your church member. It can be, see, in this year and age, unless you are a total introvert that you don't even used to leave the house. In fact, you don't even used to go out. You don't even used to go and buy something outside. You don't used to go to church. You don't used to go to school. You are just perpetually inside, unless that is what you are. If not, as long as you are going outside, it is practically impossible not to find someone that owns an iPhone. It's practically impossible, right? You always find them, unless you are living in the village anyway. But of course, I know that you are not living in the village. Okay, but then you always find people. There are people in your church, in your school, your classmates, your neighbor, someone living in your street, someone living in the next street. There are people that have the iPhone. So you do what? You find them, you make friends with them, and find out the possibility of using their iPhone to shoot. Do you get? If you don't have a very nice background in your house, don't just shoot in any kind of background. There are lots of restaurants that would allow you to just buy small something and you can shoot videos there. Or there are lots of places you can go and then you just use the background to shoot your content. You need an aesthetically pleasing. See, you are not just posting content for content's sake. You are in a niche that teaches people how to make money online. So first of all, you have to look like you are making money. That is surface positioning. You have to build that perception of you. If you said you want to teach me how to lose weight and you are a very fat person in your content, do you think I'll take you seriously? No. What's the difference between you and me? So why should I listen to you? Do you get? So in the same vein, if you say I want to teach me how to make money and I look at you, it's like my condition is even better than your own. You think I'll listen to you? Of course not. I cannot listen to you. Even if I come, maybe I just want to hear what you have to say, but I don't believe you. I don't take you seriously. I don't rate you. Do you get? So even if you do the other one and you get leads, those people do not really rate you. They just want to see what you have to say. It's just curiosity. This one, I see him like this. Okay, let's hear what he has to say. And that's it. So you will struggle to convert this. You will struggle. There's a reason why you see that top affiliates close more sales Like once they become top affiliates and begin to show that lifestyle, they close more and more sales than the average affiliates. It is because of that perception and positioning that is built through the luxury lifestyle that they put out. Right now, I'm not saying you have to start going to buy expensive food in restaurants and all of that just so you can make content. No, but the least you can do is what, use a good camera, shoot in a nice background. Shaking now. Once you just do those two, you can forget about the rest. Right. So it's important. Even if you are running ads, then of course you should not even be using a terrible creative in the first place. Even if you cannot create your own, there are a lot of people that have made videos already. Very nice videos that you can make use of that will still increase your positioning. Okay. But then your sales funnel process too can increase or decrease your perception. For example, a couple of months back, I held the class, 7 Deadly Mistakes That Cost You Sales. A couple of you here attended that class. Now, if you can still remember very well, before you get access to the group where the class was to take place, you have to go to my website, fill in your email, right, before you now be redirected to join the group. Now, it gives this perception that this is not anyhow class, right? The fact that you have to go to a website first and fill in your email gives this premium feel that this is a very well structured class. So the positioning of that class automatically has increased. And true, I've been hosting lots of classes, but that particular class gave me I had a high show up rate. Yes, that's the word. I had a high show up rate. So before, of course, I used to host class. A lot of people would join the group. A lot of people would join, register for the class. But let's say maybe out of 100 people in the group, maybe 10% will show up. Right? I'll have 200 persons and I'll be struggling to get 20 people live in the class. Right? But that one, that they first had to go to you first have to go to their to a website, fill in their email, and not just that, if they fill in the email, they will not even be redirected to the group. They'll be told to check their inbox for the group link. So you now go to your email first. That is where you now see the link to join the group. You now see that it's not a normal class. So that positioning made it that so I had a higher show up rate. Let's say out of almost 200 and more than 250 people that registered, on live classes, I was seeing more than 40 to 50 people live. That was higher than what I typically used to get. Why? Because of that positioning. So this is the same thing that happens if you have you are running ads and your ads do not just street, they just land your WhatsApp chat. You first take them to a landing page, they now land on the website first. Maybe sometimes you might not need to get their emails because you don't want to implement email marketing. In my case, I wanted to, right? But then the fact that they are taking steps and steps and steps before they even get shows them that this is a serious class. Do you get? So when they now come into your group, they are more likely to show up for your class. And of course, the more people that can show up for your class, the more sales you can potentially make. Do you get? All of this is what surface positioning does for you, right? All of this is what surface positioning does for you. Number 2, let's move to the next one. Psychographic and demographic positioning. Now start with psychographic. Psychographic just is very simple. It just has to do with your has to do with psychology, right? That's where it comes from. Psychographic psychology. Now, note that we are always magnetically drawn to people who are just like us, right? The reason you are friends with the people that you are friends with is because you people have certain things in common. Maybe people like to gossip together, who knows? You people have certain things in common. For guys, maybe the person is also a football fan like you. It's rare that you find a guy who is deeply into football and he will have a friend that's very, very close to him, and that guy is not into football. Unless there are other very strong teams to keep them apart, it's going to be very difficult. So the fact that you are friends with people, the fact that you are close to people is because you have something in common. And the same thing happens in sales. People are magnetically drawn to people who they feel are just like them. When you feel that people have your value system in common, if you have they are doing the kind of things you want to do or you are trying to do or anything, but you just see you have found something that is common between you and them, it can draw you closer to them. And that is what psychographic positioning thrives on. So the idea is to cause your prospects to logically conclude that this person is like me. That is just the idea. To get your prospect to logically conclude that this person is like me. Okay. So how does this really apply in this context? You are an affiliate marketer. Let's say you are a student, right? And you are making money online. Now this person comes to you and be like, this guy is a student. Me say I'm a student. That's something in common. Do you get? Now in your class, you now tell them of the time where you were broke, you were once broke, and you called your parents home for money and they did not send it. They did not have the money to send at that time. Not that they did not want to give it to you, but based on condition and all of that. And then they now notice the same thing. Maybe that same they said they have even called their parents to ask for money and they were, being told that no, this, that, this, you get. So they begin to see similarities, they begin to see patterns. You begin to say, this person is like me. And because of that, they are more drawn to you. They begin to like you. That's the L in the KLT factor. Do you get? That is psychographic positioning. So this involves you getting the prospect to logically conclude that is just like you. Now, there are steps to carry out psychographic positioning. 3 steps actually. Number 1, reverse engineer the value system of your prospects. Step 1, reverse engineer the value system of your prospect. Now, to do this, I need you to think about your ideal prospects, not just anybody that comes to your DM. Your ideal prospect. So if you could choose the kind of people that you want to be coming to your DM, like you can say this is the exact type of person I want coming to my DM, and you could select it by yourself, not just anybody can come. How would that person be? That is what you are doing here. So you take this kind of person and you reverse engineer the value system of that typical person. It can look something of this nature. You can now say, okay, this is my ideal prospect. Their value system is maybe number 1, goal-oriented, right? Number 2, hardworking. Number 3, not afraid to invest in personal improvement or personal development. Okay, just all those things that you would like your ideal prospects to have. Maybe number 3, not afraid of spending online. Do you get? Number 5, let's say goodwill. Right? The person wants to do things morally. The person doesn't want to engage in illegal activities. You can do it. This value system can be in form of for and against, meaning the things that they like, the things that they do, the values that they stand for, and the values that they stand against. So for the values that they stand against, it can be something like people that hate something for nothing, so that you chase away freebie seekers. People they don't like the idea of getting things for free like that. They understand that life, you have to offer something to get something. Those are the kind of people you are looking for. You don't want people that are looking for get rich quick schemes. Those are the people that are against it. Okay. So when you just sit down, just take a moment, write out this value system, right? The things that they stand for and the things that they stand against. Then step 2 is what? You match those value system in your messaging. So let's say one of the value system you wrote is people that are against get rich quick schemes, like maybe Ponzi, betting, and the rest. And now what do you now do? Doing one of your posts, maybe doing one of your follow-up in your content, you begin to talk about how bad it is, to rely on get rich quick schemes. You also like condemn it. So remember, these people that you want are the people that was also condemn it. So when they say what the enemy of my enemy is my friend, ba? You heard that saying before. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So the fact that you are against what they are against automatically makes them or makes you their friend, kind of. So when you do this, like I said, they begin to be magnetically drawn to you. They begin to see that this person thinks like me. This person reasons like me. So because of that, they are able to believe you more. They are able to trust you more easily. They are able to listen to you more and hear what you have to say. It reduces the resistance to your promise. Do you understand? That's what psychographic positioning does for you. And then of course, like I said, step 3, you use surface positioning and demonstration to illustrate that match. Okay, so when you've gotten the value system, okay, I just gave you one example about them hitting get rich quick schemes, right? Now, it can be one of the value system that they have is financial independence. People that value and actively looking for financial independence, you can now talk about this in your content. You can talk about this in your ad. You can talk about this in your videos that you're using to generate traffic. The point is, once you have identified these value systems that your ideal prospect should have, you want to illustrate it as much as possible at every point in time that you get the chance to do so. It's just as simple as that. Okay? And then please make sure that you do this with only your ideal prospects in mind. Nobody else matters. Okay? So you can define this your prospect value system using 4 pillars: desires, fears, for, and against. Okay? So these are the 4 pillars you can use to define this your prospect value system. I already said for and against. There are 2 more: desires, fears, for, and against. So the things that they desire, you write it down. My voice is cracking. Can you people hear me? Is my voice cracking? Can you hear me or my voice is cracking? I think someone just said my voice is cracking. Can you hear me or my voice is cracking? Can you hear me or my voice is cracking? Let me know in the comments. Can you hear me clearly or is my voice cracking? Can you hear me clearly or is my voice cracking? Okay, Emmanuel can hear me well. Anyone else? I don't understand. Are people on this call or not? Are people sleeping? Can you hear me well or is my voice cracking? Okay. Okay. So I think, all right, people can hear me. Joshua, I think the issue is from your end. Maybe it's your network. Probably you can leave and join again or something like that and see if it's going to improve. Okay, so I'll continue. So yes, these are the things that you use to draft out your prospect value system. You have desire, fears, for, and against. I already explained what for and against is. The things that they stand for and the things that they are against. Then for desires and fears, it's very simple. What are those things that they desire, right? Let's say financial independence, financial freedom. They desire being able to afford what they want. They desire all the things that they can desire, right? They desire taking care of their loved ones, right? And all of that. And then maybe their fears. What are their fears? Fear of insufficient funds, fear of SAPA, fear of being unable to afford what they want, fear of being stuck in a job that they don't like just because that's the only thing they have to do to survive, fear of living from hand to mouth. Just come up with as many as possible. By the time you are done coming up with all of this, already you are going to have tons of content ideas on how you should be posting. Not just no one is coming to save you all the time. We are tired of saying that nonsense. You should not be doing that. It shows if that's the little you can post, it shows how little you know about sales. You don't even know how to nurture it. Just saying the same thing that we have seen every time. Right? So define this prospect value system using the 4 pillars: desires, fears, for, against. Okay, and then you can design your own, just in case maybe you have some desires that does not match their own and some fears. You are trying to illustrate a match here, that you are doing things that they are also doing. One person likes football, the other person likes football. There is a match here. So what if you like football, the person likes football, you like basketball, but the person does not like basketball, the person likes tennis. Cannot be the same. So you write down your own value system too, the things that you desire, the things that you fear, the things that you are for, and the things you are against, right? And then you illustrate that match and then emphasize those match in everywhere you find yourself, right? In your status post, in your follow-ups, in your class, in your videos, everything you do. Okay. So your prospects would tend to already like you when what you are telling them resonates with them. Yes, when what you are telling them resonates with them, they are going to tend to like you more and be willing to hear from you. So when someone shares the same values with you, he will feel like you are a match even before you try selling anything. On social media, automatically begin to admire and like this person. You just like the way this person does his things. You just automatically you just feel like you would like to connect more with this person and just get closer to this person, even without much. Why? Because these people would share the same values with you. If you look at your role models, you look at people that you look up to, there's a reason you are looking up to them. There's a reason why they're your role models, because people share the same value system. Okay? So you need to make sure that you create a messaging that illustrates this match between you and them. So we become magnetic to the people that we want by becoming repulsive to the people we don't want. So another way you can illustrate this match even better, remember when I told you that the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Now, when you start becoming repulsive to the people that you don't want, automatically you become magnetic to the people that you want. So when you have a strong decision against the people you don't want, you become magnetic rather to the people you want. You see, when you're talking to everybody, you're talking to no one. So you need to tailor your message. Okay? I'll give you an example. In the course of getting people to join Imperial Circle, because I've had Imperial Circle before, it used to be my personal community for people that register for affiliate marketing under me. So it was strictly for my students. Okay. Then I stopped promoting affiliate marketing courses, transitioned to promoting other things. Right. So it did not really have much like new people were not joining it again because what I wasn't getting new students to join it. And then what I decided to open it, okay, let me open it up more. So when I hold classes and I see people that are serious, I tend to get them to join, like give them access to join. Okay. But then, over time, because I've just allowed so many people to join, it got dormant. Now, when I came up with the Rebel of the Imperial Circle, this new group that we are all in now, I did one thing. I was very, very specific about the kind of people that it is meant for, right? I was also extremely repulsive to the people that I don't want. I stated clearly that I don't want you. And because I have stated that I don't want this kind of people, if you are someone that you don't like that kind of thing too, automatically I'm going to become more magnetic to you. Do you get what I mean? So when I show that clearly that I don't like lazy people, I constantly say that I don't like lazy people. If you too don't like lazy people, automatically you are drawn to me, right? You seem to listen to me more. You seem to subconsciously, right? It's not something you consciously think or do, but subconsciously you become more drawn to me because what I am repulsive to the people that you two are repulsive to. So the moment you push away undesirable customer, you become more magnetic. God, you become more magnetic to the people that you want. So the moment you push away an undesirable customer, the more magnetic you become to the ones that you want. Okay, so that is how you build psychographic positioning. For demographic positioning, it's pretty simple. Demographic, you know what demographic is now? Age, gender, location. I think that should be the three major things, right? Age, gender, location, maybe role, what they do, and the rest. Those are your demographics. So, what are the type of people that you want to sell to? You see, like I said, when you're selling to everyone, you sell to no one. The mistake lots of athletes do is they are trying to sell to everyone at the same time. You want to sell to students, you want to sell to 9 to 5 workers, you want to sell to stay-at-home moms, you want to sell to unemployed graduates, you want to sell to NYC corpers, you want to sell to self-employed people, you want to sell to everybody at the same time. And because of that, what happens? You try to use words that can fit in everybody. And because of that, it's not polarizing, it is generic. It is generic. For example, let's say if I say that I'm going to help you achieve financial freedom, that's not very, very powerful. That's generic. But if I say that I am going to help you reduce over dependence on your parents for allowances, right? I'll help you to reduce over dependence from your parents for allowances by building sustainable income. Now, that is much more likely to have effects on the person listening if the person is someone depending on their parents for allowance. The same thing applies. If you just use a generic messaging that tries to capture everybody, it's not going to be powerful than if you try to be specific and just talk directly to the type of prospects that you want. And that's what demographics positioning does. There are certain people that just seem to sell to certain audiences. I had a lady, a client, right, that all her ads, she wanted me to target just women and not just women. She wanted stay-at-home moms. So we used creative around stay-at-home moms and all. And if you attend the classes, if you view our status, everything is tailored towards that audience. That is positioning. So automatically, if you're a stay-at-home mom, anytime you meet her, you are going to you are more likely to be drawn to her, you're more likely to want to listen to her because she's speaking directly to you. You can resonate with what she's saying. She's relatable to you. Do you get? So that's the same thing you want to do. You want to pick out your ideal persona. Okay. Who are what is the demographics of people that you want to sell to? Is it male or female? Is it both? What's the age range? Right? When you get this right now, you'll be able to get certain things that has to do with that specific demographics. So what are the major pain points for that specific demographics? What are the major interests and desires for that specific demographic? What are the major problems that that specific demographics are facing? And what when you get this, what you illustrate that in your messaging, in your posts, in your classes, in your videos, in your content, in your follow-up. That's demographic positioning. And then finally, demonstration positioning. Now, this is the most powerful, right? This is the most powerful. This is where you demonstrate your matching value to your prospect through your indoctrination sequences. Okay? So this has to do with how you demonstrate your expertise, your credibility, your values, your authority, and all of that. An example is when a prospect comes to your DM, you send them your welcome message and try to connect with them. This can also be maybe when you are hosting a class, right? At that point in time, what are you doing? You are demonstrating your expertise. You are showing them that, hey, you have knowledge on this thing that you are talking about. And that is why webinars and classes are like very good lead magnets. They are very good sales presentation and sales conversion tools, because doing that, you demonstrate your authority. You are not just hinting at it again. You are not just doing side position again. No, you are fully demonstrating that, see, you are capable. In the software world, they have what they call product demos, right? You sign up for a demo and they'll have someone come on a call with you and show you exactly how you're going to be able to, how the product you're about to buy or you are interested in is going to work for you. They demonstrate the credibility, the expertise, and everything of that product. And by the end of the demo, you can make a decision if it's going to work for you, for your business, or not. That's demonstration positioning. And you do this in affiliate marketing or through your class. You do this through your understanding, by demonstrating your understanding of their fears and describing them to the prospect better than you can describe it to themselves. So there is this powerful feeling that people have when they meet someone that is just telling them all their problems, right? That is just telling them, that's okay. I know that you have been feeling this and this and that and that, and they are just like, yes, you are right. It's true. This is what a lot of pastors and prophets strive on, right? They'll tell you that, oh, you have had this before. They are predicting. They're telling you things that have happened in your life, right? It's crazy. Well, you don't need to be a pastor. You don't need to know the exact specific things that happen in their life. But when you have your demographics, you will know the things that the people in your demographics typically experience. For example, if your demographics is students, then you know that one of the pain points they will majorly have is inability to buy the things that they want, right? So it doesn't matter what kind of student it is, they will always have this kind of pain points, unless their father is very rich. Then of course they don't need to be in your class because they don't need your products, right? But then you see things like that, all those things that that are this particular demographic, they are going to be passing through it. You demonstrate that you understand this deeply, and you understand, and you try to explain to them why that even happens in the first place. So you don't just tell them that, see, this is the problem you are facing. You tell them why that problem is happening to them in the first place. And that's, they begin to see, this guy's an authority. They begin to have that perception of you that you want. So if you can demonstrate that you will help them by actually help them, and you precede that demonstration with surface level positioning on your social media and the likes, then you also establish value matching in your conversation. They will be more receptive to the idea of going further with you in the business conversation. Okay, so yeah, that is why I'm going to be wrapping up positioning. Wow, this is just now finishing what we had for yesterday. Hey, Jesus, it is well. All right, so are you learning? 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 Let me know in the comments. Are you learning? If yes, tell me one thing that you've picked from this positioning class, right? Tell me one thing that you've picked from this positioning section. Yeah, please. I want to see it. I want to see it. Let me know one thing, just one thing that you've picked from the positioning section that we've talked about. So right from what we discussed yesterday and all that have been said so far today. Okay, let me know. I'm looking at the comments. Can you people even hear me? So I'm not seeing anybody typing. Can you people hear me? Maybe I'm not speaking to myself. Can you hear me? Let me know in the comments. Can you hear me? I'm waiting. Oh, that's great. I'm happy you learned that, Amina. See, okay, I think we've touched this. Okay, let's see how we're going to prepare that. Okay. Still watching, seeing what you are saying. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Wow, that's great, Ibrahim. I'm happy that you learned a lot, although you have not told me what exactly you learned. But yeah. All right. So keep on writing what you are learning. Okay. But we'll now be going into what we have for today. And like I promised, today we'll be talking about the psychology of persuasion. Write it down. The psychology of persuasion. The psychology of persuasion. All right. I'm happy that you all have learned a lot. But then we're about to go into the business of the day. Psychology of persuasion. So are you ready? Are you ready? Let me know. Can we roll? Are you ready? Can we move on? Are you ready for us to move? Are you ready for us to move? Okay. Let's get on with it. So the psychology of persuasion, how to influence decisions and drive action. Now, remember that not long ago, I talked about the two types of decisions. We have internal decisions and we have external decisions, right? Great. So, persuasion is the way by which you are able to get people to take internal decisions, to do the things you want them to do. So have this at the back of your mind. Even though persuasion is you trying to get people to do what you want them to do, understand that persuasion is not manipulation. You are not just trying to get people to do anything you want them to do. It's not do as I see. No, that's not what persuasion is. It's not juju that used to just make people to whatever I want them to do, that's what they do. No. It is the art of helping people see why something is in their best interest. Do you understand? See, understanding the psychology behind how people make decisions would give you the ability to communicate more effectively and actually get to persuade people more efficiently. Okay? Now, this is it. A lot of prospects have mental barriers that keep them stuck. There are certain things that are in their mind that are stopping them from moving forward and taking action. In sales, we call these objections, right? They are logical reasons presented by prospects on why they cannot take the buying decision. So persuasion represents how you are going to help them overcome this mental barrier by helping them see why that thing is in their best interest. Okay, so to understand this, we need to look at how do people actually make decisions. Now, this is the thing that most affiliates used to get wrong. You think that people make logical decision based on careful analysis of facts. Not really, not really. Maybe a few times, but not really. But in reality, people make emotional decisions and then they use logic to justify the decision after the fact. Like it is being said that people buy based on emotions and justify with logic. This is a very basic, simple, a very basic sales principle that you should know by now. If you do not already know it, write it down. People buy based on emotions and justify with logic. So your prospect's brain is running two systems simultaneously, right? It's running two systems simultaneously. We have the emotional brain that operates very fast, make snap judgments, and then handles most of the decisions. And then we have the logical brain that operates slow, analyzes details, and then mostly exists to, kind of justify what the emotional brain has already decided. If you want to go into neuroscience, these two parts of the brain are called peripheral routes and central routes. The emotional brain is the peripheral route, and the central, what am I saying? Yes, the peripheral route is the emotional brain, and the central route is the logical brain. Okay, but then forget about the routes. Let's just focus on emotional and logical brain. Okay, so like I've said, your prospect has two systems running at the same time. We have the emotional brain and we have the logical brain. So your job in persuasion is to appeal to both systems, trigger the right emotions to drive the decision, then provide the logical analysis that your prospect needs to justify it to themselves or others. Because this is it. When people want to make decision purely based on logic, it takes a very long time, because as we have identified, the logical brain is slow. It takes time to analyze. And it leads to analysis paralysis. Okay. You should know this by now, but the longer a person takes to make a decision, the more likely that he's not going to even take action on that thing. Okay, the longer time you are using to think about should I do something or not, the more likely that you are not going to do it. So if you leave people to just use their logical brain alone to take decisions, you are not going to get the sales that you're looking for. But on the other hand, if people take decisions with only emotional brain alone, it's going to lead to regret. Yes, it's going to lead to regret. Regret is a product of emotional decisions that were not backed up with logic. Right? When people just do things purely based on emotion, no logic behind it, no reasoning, no thinking, they do not think. You see people that say that they act before they think, before they even take one or two, before they even have any reasoning or logic behind it, they have already taken actions. Sometimes at the end of the day, they get to regret it. Have you ever bought something and then after some time you ask yourself, why did I even buy this thing self? It's almost useless to you. You bought purely based on emotions and there is no logic behind it at all. Right? So one without the other is not what you want. You do not want people to make decisions purely based on their emotional brain. You also do not want them to make decisions purely based on the logical brain. Your job is what? To appeal to the two brains at the same time. You need to trigger the right emotions that is going to drive the decision, then provide the logical analysis that they will need to justify it for themselves or even other people. Right? When people come and ask, why do you spend that money on this thing? They say, no, it's because of this, because of that. Right? They have the logic to use and justify it. So that is the main thing that you're looking at. So everything we're going to be talking about, everything we're going to be looking at is going to be on how we can influence both this emotional brain and the logical brain simultaneously to get people to take action fast, but take the action that they will not regret later. Okay, so to proceed with this, we'll look at the 6 core principles of influence. Right, so to understand how you can get to influence people to take decisions and carry out the action that you want. Okay, write it down. The 6 core principles of influence. Now, these principles were identified by Robert Cialdini in one of his books. Okay, they are fundamental to how humans respond to persuasive communication. It is very, very important that you understand these principles of influence, as applying it is going to help you get a lot of sales without having to convince anyone. And then understanding it is going to make so many other things begin to make sense. You begin to understand why even you act the way you do. You begin to understand why people behave the way they do. And it will help you in more than just sales alone. It will help you in more than just your affiliate marketing business alone. You'll be able to apply it in many other areas of your life. So take it very seriously. Write it down. 6 core principles of influence. Number 1, reciprocity. Right? Reciprocal. Now, when someone gives us something, we feel obligated to give something back. Unless you're a very terrible person. All right, but as a normal human being, it is just an innate human desire that if someone gives you something, you just feel this need to give something back. That's why if you are among a group of friends and every time people go out, it's always another person that's always pain. You know, you not feel too happy. At some point, you feel like you said you should be able to pay sometimes too. Do you get? If someone is always doing good things for you, doing nice things for you, you feel a need to pay the person back. That is just how human work. Okay. So in sales, how do you implement this? Because this is hardwired into human social behavior. So in sales, this means that when you provide people value upfront, your prospect feels a natural pull towards to reciprocate. And that is why we give people free things first before telling them to pay. You have been doing this for a very long time, but you don't even understand why you are doing it. You don't even understand why they say you should hold class first. You don't understand why they told you to give people VSL first. You think it's just so that you come and show them testimonials. No, it's reciprocity. That is why if you're hosting a class, it's important that your class actually has some form of value. There's something that people are actually learning, and not just promotion all through. I check out some classes of some affiliates, and I just shake my head. Like, how do you expect to make sales with that kind of a class script where at the end of the class,
The
the
end of the
prospects did
class,
not
the
learn
prospect did not learn
Cisco? What's your problem?
Cisco.
You can just turn on your mic like that. Behave yourself. Okay. So that at the end of the class, your prospect does not even learn anything. Like, they did not learn anything. They attended the class, and at the end of the class, they did not learn anything new. And you want to close sales. You have not given them anything. Right? You just came in the class. You told them that, in this life, nobody's coming to save you. You have to change your future. You have to do this. And because of that, you have to make money online, because that is the new way of getting wealthy in 2025. And just like this, you have to start an online business. And one of the best online business you can start is affiliate marketing. This affiliate marketing has helped a lot of people to become millionaires. Just like this, my student here. You start pouring out testimonials. Before you know, you say, hey, so to get started, I'm going to give you my blueprint. I will show you how to do this, how to do that. Copy and paste, community, blah, 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 blah. Pay 15K here. Piam. No value. They did not learn one single thing. No new knowledge that they took home from your class. Nothing. Why should they even give? No, they will not. Except people that are only unreasonable people that will do. And the kind of people you close from a class like that are people that are looking for get rich quick schemes, number one. And there are people that would give up very, very easily. There are people that take decision with their emotional brain without any justification from the logical brain. There are people that take decision purely based on emotion. And because, of course, those kind of decisions are external decisions, so they're not going to last long. They're not going to stand the test of time. Once they face more challenges like this, they have disappeared. Okay, so by understanding the principle of reciprocity, you want to give people free insights, helpful assistance, and helpful resources, genuine assistance, so that by the time you will now ask them to pay for something, you just feel this natural pull to reciprocate. That is why free consultations always work, because you're not just showcasing your expertise, you are creating a psychological depth, right? Your prospect now feels they owe you something. You attend my classes like this, right? You begin to feel that, oh, this guy is giving us too much for free. Jesus, all these things, I'm learning, and he did not even collect me 1 naira. Now, by the time I now ask you to pay for something, you feel obligated. Like, it's not like it will be conscious in your mind that this guy don't want to try you, I should pay him. No, but subconsciously, that is how your brain is just reasoning, right? So they feel they owe you something. So even if it's just to take your offer more seriously, that's it. So how to implement this is what? Always find a way to give first without expecting immediate return, right? Share insights. If you're hosting class, find something relevant and teach. You don't have to come and do too much, right? You don't have to come and do too much. It can be even as simple as explaining the business model appropriately for them. At least that's a new knowledge, right? At the end of the day, if you are promoting an affiliate marketing course, they should be able to tell. If someone were to ask them, how does affiliate marketing work? They should be able to explain it. If you host the class and nobody in your class can explain how the business model you want them to start works, then you've wasted your time. So it can be something as simple as that. It can be as simple as giving them little tips, right? There was a time that while holding a class, right, I told people that I was scammed. And this was the reason I was scammed. So this is how they too can discover when someone is trying to scam them or not. Now, in the rest of my class, I've taught them how to identify scams. Do you get? They have learned something new. So even they don't buy anything, that knowledge they can implement it. It can be useful for them, and it can help them avoid losing money. So it creates that psychological depth. Do you understand? So the more valuable your gift, the stronger the reciprocity pool. So you want to try as much as possible to give something first before asking back. Okay? So that's number one, reciprocity. Number two, commitment and consistency. Okay? Now, how does this apply in sales? You see, people have a deep need to become consistent with the things they have already said before or they have done before. So once they have taken a position on something, they will work hard to align their future behavior with that position that they have taken to avoid contradictions. Okay, that is why when you are in a sales conversation, it is very, very important that you get small yes, 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 right, while having the sales conversation. For example, if a prospect agrees that their current situation is not making them happy, right? They don't like their current situation, then they have to remain consistent with that position later because they have already agreed that they don't like this current position, that it's not good enough for them. So once they now come back and then you now tell them, right, that what you have for them is going to make that situation better. It's going to help them change their situation. And then they agree that yes, what you've said actually makes sense. The business model you're presenting to them makes sense. For them to back out now, they will have to contradict themselves. Do you get what I mean? How do I put this in most simpler terms? Okay, now this is it. Now, assuming you are a prospect and you are talking to me, I'm going to zoom out a little bit from affiliate marketing. Let's say you want to run ads. And then you come to me and we are talking. And I ask you if you are getting enough leads for your business. And you said no. That means you have taken up a position. Okay. I say, okay, so what have you been doing so far? I say you have been posting online, you have been posting maybe on TikTok, Facebook, and the rest. And doing that alone has not gotten you results. Now, I now present you art. The art is going to, change that for you. You are going to get a lot of sales, just like other people get lots of customers and the rest. And you say, okay, that makes sense. A lot of people get customers. That's fine. Now, by the time I ask for the sale, if you now come back and say, no, you are not ready to pay or this, you cannot, it's going to be more difficult because you have already agreed that number one, the situation that you are in is bad and that you want to change it. So now when you are presented with the opportunity to change it, saying no is going to be a little bit more difficult because saying no will require you to contradict yourself. Okay, so every single yes that you get makes the sale easier as it goes. Back then, I still do anyway. I have sales closing scripts that I use that I even give to my students. I think if you scroll up this channel, you should be able to find a link. The link I linked to the Telegram group where I dropped the scripts. It should be here somewhere. It's them. But the main thing there is in those scripts, when a prospect is done, maybe with your video, I majorly used it for it was for like a DM closing. It was a DM closing script. That's if people watch your VSL and they come back and tell you they are done watching it. The questions you are asking them is just to get yes, 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 yes. So what are the questions? Number one, you ask them something like, all right, so after watching this video, does it look like something you can do? What do you think they will say? Of course, they will say yes. You say, that's great, that's fine. But then, can you sacrifice at least 2 hours for this business daily? As this business requires time as well. Let's say, just 2 hours. Of course, they can sacrifice 2 hours. It's just 2 hours now. They don't want to show that, you are putting them on the defensive. They don't want to admit that they are so lazy that they will not be able to do ordinary 2 hours. Do you get? Good. So when they say yes, you have gotten how many yes now? I've gotten 2 already. Now you can now say something like, beautiful. So tell me, how will you feel if we start making, let's say, 100K weekly, just like this my student did here? You can now attach a screenshot of somebody, right? The person will now be like, oh, I'll be so happy. You said, okay, that's fine. But then, can your account receive like 100K weekly without any issue? Like all these things you are saying does not really matter. But what you are doing is what you are trying to get the person to say yes as many times as possible, so that by the time you have told, you now finally ask for the sale, it is more difficult for the person to say no than it is to say yes. Okay, so as that's nice, but can your account receive at least 100K weekly without an issue? Even this question is also very important, because now you are putting the prospects in the sale already. You are making the person feel like they have already started, and all they have now, the only problem they have is if the account will be able to receive the money or not, right? So it's a very powerful closing technique anyway, but that's not our focus. What do you think the prospect will say at this point again? Of course, he will say what? Yes, my account can receive even higher sale. Say sharp. You now ask another question. So would you like me to hold you by the hand and teach you step by step how you can start making this too? What do you think they'll say again? They'll say yes. And you can see, they have agreed that you should help them, you should teach them. So by the time you now come back to say no, they are contradicting themselves. Do you understand? At that point, I can still ask another question and say, okay, would you also like me to add you to my affiliate community, where you will learn from other top experts in this business and receive guidance and support 24/7? What do you think they'll say again? They'll say yes. How many years is that? That's like 5 years. And I finally ask, all right, that's fine. Do you have any questions before we proceed with the registration? They'll be like, okay, I have this question, this, that, or no, I don't have any question. Okay. At the end of the day, I can now say something like, seems we are good then. Shall we proceed with the registration? I can now add a little PS. You need a little capital, as you saw in the video. And then, of course, I'll now go ahead and ask for the sale. Now, because I have gotten them to say a lot of yes, it's going to be more difficult for them to say no, because subconsciously, people have a deep need to be consistent with the things they have previously said or done. Okay? So that's the second principle of influence. The third principle of influence, this one is very, very powerful and very, very important. All right, is what is social proof. Okay, social proof. Now, you know that people usually look to others to determine what to do, especially in uncertain situations. Right? Before someone will go to a restaurant, you will have to hear from maybe his or her friend that have gone there before. You say, okay, how is their customer service? How is their food? Is it nice? It's easier for them to go to that restaurant after they have heard from someone that recommends that place to them, than if they just came across the restaurant online. Okay, people most likely want to do things that other people have already done. Why? Because man is a social animal. We are constantly seeking validation from others. I want to belong to a part of a tribe. We don't want to be odd. We want to do things that others are doing, because we assume if others are doing something, it must be the right choice. That is how trends are formed, by the way. People doing what other people are doing. And this is because of the bandwagon effect, right? If people see that other people are doing certain things, they'll start doing it too. It's as simple as that. Once they come around and see that people are doing it, they'll do it too. Just like earlier today, right, in the group, Muzamil posted his wins, right, with Salah. A big congratulations to him, by the way, for his recognition and his achievement. And what? I said, I congratulated him. And then another person congratulated him too. And because of that, now, if you go to the group, I'm certain like maybe more than 10 congratulations have come in by now. That's because these people came online and saw that other people have congratulated him. So they also congratulated him too. But trust me, if after he had posted, I did not first of all put that congratulations out there, and there may be another person did not congratulate after me, there will not be as many congratulations as it is right now. In fact, maybe nobody will even congratulate himself. They'll just read the post and they'll go away. Why? Because people look to others to determine the correct behavior, especially in uncertain situation. Okay, so you need to understand that you need to have some form of social proof to be able to persuade your prospect. And of course, social proof can come in form of testimonials, case studies, and the likes. But in affiliate marketing, is usually mostly testimonials, right? Proof of payments, proof of income from the affiliate marketing platforms, screenshots of the number of sales they're making, screenshots of their students thanking you, and all of that. Those are social proof, and those social proof are very, very powerful. But you also need to understand that all social proof are not equal. You see, the most powerful social proof comes from the people that are similar to your prospect. So let's say your prospect is a student and you have a testimonial from another student, maybe thanking you that, you're so happy that even as a student now, this is that is that. It's going to, that particular testimonial will appeal more to that your prospect than not. Do you get what I mean? For example, a person like me, one of the testimonials that motivated me the most when I was starting out was the testimonial of a very popular top affiliate. I don't know, you may or may not know him, Joshua Ndukwe. And why did it motivate me? Because I saw that this boy was my age mate, right? And he was already doing this, was already doing that. He was already making amounts like this. So that particular testimonial was very, very powerful for me. I've been seeing so many other testimonials before, but it not really concern me, not really move me that much. But because what? That testimonial came from someone that is very similar to me, right? So it gave me that confidence that if he can do it, I can do it too. That is why it's important that, like I said before, you know your demographics, so that even the testimonial that you are posting, you try to tailor it for the kind of audience that you have. If you have stay-at-home moms as your audience, and then you are posting only student testimonials of students that are making money, it's not going to be that powerful, because some of them may feel like, okay, the thing only works for students because it's students you have been posting. But by the time that they see that other stay-at-home moms like them are also making money from it, what do you think will happen? They are more likely to want to what? To want to start too, because they have seen that people that are like them are also doing it. Okay. Another way you can implement social proof is the bandwagon effect. Should people that other people are doing it too. And how you implement this in affiliate marketing is that, when people make payments for your products, you take a screenshot of it, you put it out, you post it on your status, post it on your communities as a form of follow-up, show people that what other people too are paying. Because these things now, you are in school, right? You just scored low in your tests, or maybe you just had F in one course, and then you are feeling bad. All of a sudden, you ask your friend, how far this test, what do you score? Person tell you that you scored low too. Or this course, how far? Let's see you get. Person told you that you have F2. You now find out this one have F, this one have F, this one have F. You say, what? Thank God it's not only me. All of a sudden, you begin to feel relief. The F does not feel so bad anymore. It's no longer that depressing. Why? Because as long as it's not only you. And this is how human beings think. That's just how we are. Right? Bandwagon effect. If every other person is doing it, we have this kind of confidence that anyhow, even if the thing is spoiled, as long as it's not only me that the thing is spoiled for. And that is why a lot of people don't used to buy things when it's new. They always let other people buy it first and test it. And before them, they will now buy their own to say, okay, as long as this person has already bought, at least if the thing now collapses, it's not limit. Right? That's the bandwagon effect. People are more likely to do something when they see that other people have already done it or other people are doing it. So when people make payments for your product, what do? You take a screenshot and you put it out as a form of follow-up. For those of you that are observant, you notice that I did this, right? When I was promoting the pay what you want to offer for the Emperor Advisor Bootcamp a couple of days back, you see that when people make payments, what did I do? I take a screenshot, I put it on the group, I show you that other people are paying. Other people, I not still post all of them, but do you get that's a marketing strategy, that's a persuasion strategy. And I noticed that every single time I did that, someone will now come to my DM. Like since morning, there was a particular day, right? Since morning, I have not posted, nobody came to pay. I came back from church in the afternoon and I posted the ones that people paid the previous day. And within an hour, like 4 more persons paid. Why? Because they saw that other people are paying too. That's bandwagon effect. And trust me, if you can work on affiliate marketers, right, that already understand sales and marketing, what do you think will happen to people that don't even know that this is a tactics? People that don't even know that what you are doing so is a sales tactics to get them to take a buying decision. Of course, it's going to work very, very well on them. I'm telling you, because I've used it multiple times and it always works. So that's another way you can implement social proof. Another way you can implement social proof is fear of missing out, FOMO. People don't want to be left behind, right? People don't want to be left behind. So whenever you're able to show people that, see, you are going to miss out on this thing, and not just that you are going to miss out on this thing, other people are doing it, and you have not done it, and very soon you are going to miss out on it. Automatically, you increase their desire to want to get that thing, right? They will want to rush and pay. Okay, so that's the third one, social proof. The fourth principle of influence is authority. Authority. So we are conditioned to follow authority figures and trust expert opinions. That is why if you are sick and you go to the hospital, you don't want a medical student. No, you want a medical doctor. You want a professional, someone that is an expert, an authority in that field. That is the person you want to, even if it's just consultation, even if it's just for you to tell the person your problems and then listen to what the person has to tell you, you still want to talk to an expert. You don't want an amateur. Right? So the same thing applies even in sales. People want to learn from the best. That is why you'd always find that you would have a prospect in your DM. And all of a sudden, that person will come and tell you that he signed up under one top affiliate like that. Because they see the person as more of an authority as compared to you. So they want the very best. It's a simple thing. Even if it's you do the same thing. Imagine that me, I'm posting, or you are posting that you've made 100K in a week. Me, I'm posting that I just bought a car. Who would you want to learn from? The person that just made 100K or the person that just bought a car? Of course, you want to learn from the bigger person, right? The bigger expert. This one bought car. That means he knows more. He has the more knowledge of this thing. That's why he's able to do it and get even more results from it. Do you get? So it's very, very important that you build up your authority through positioning, because human beings are wired to listen to experts. The reason that you are in this class is because you see me as an expert in sales and marketing. If you did not see me as an expert in sales and marketing, you will not join this class to listen to what I have to say. Do you get? You see me as an authority figure. That is why you want to learn from me. And if you have to understand that if people don't see you as an authority, they will not buy from you. You will not pay an amateur. You cannot pay an amateur. That's why interns, people that do internship, most of the time it's even unpaid internship, because they see them as what? Amateur. They're not experts. But then it's not possible that you have an expert working for you and you not pay that person. So in sales, you need to establish your authority early. Okay, this doesn't mean bragging. It's just demonstrating expertise through how you conduct the conversation. Ask questions that shows that you understand their business and all of that. Share insights. Teach people in your class. Start with a very good introduction, right? I give you guys a hack earlier, right? Try to optimize yourself across all social media, so that if they go and search for your name or your username, they can see all your accounts and they'll be like, that builds authority, right? So credentials matter, right? How many years you've been in business, if you have any certifications, been notable client awards, and all of these. These are all authority indicators. Okay. Another thing too, authority can also be borrowed. Yes, authority can also be borrowed. For example, if I post a picture of me standing with Tinubu, automatically the way you begin to see me will change you. It can be that I just stood with him, nothing happened. Maybe we did not even talk. Maybe just by mistake self that I even stood near him. You never can tell. But the fact that what I was standing next to Tinubu would vastly improve your perception of me. All right. And all of a sudden, the kind of authority you begin to see me as, the way you begin to see me is going to change. So what just happened? I just borrowed authority from Tinubu. Right. That is why you can also borrow authority. You can also borrow authority when you quote certain well-established authorities. Yes. If I make a post and I begin to quote certain books, like I did earlier today, right? Mention the name of the book, I'm borrowing authority from that book. Those things I'm about to say has more weight. Why? Because I'm not just telling you things from my head. I'm telling you things that other experts too have agreed on. Do you get? So I'm borrowing the authority. So you can do this also. Okay. Another way you can do this is even when you're posting. In fact, people already do this, but you don't know you're actually doing it. You see, when you post testimonials that are not your own, you are borrowing authority. You are borrowing the social proof of others. You are borrowing results of others. And it's fine. Okay? Just do it well. All right? So how many have we talked about so far? We talked about six principles of influence. I've mentioned 4. I said reciprocity, commitment, and consistency. Social proof. 4th one, authority. And then the 5th one is liking. Yes, liking. Now, we are more likely to be influenced by people we like. I mean, it seems obvious, but the implications are really profound. That is why you hear build KLT factor. Why do you really think you need to build a KLT factor? Because prospects need to know you, like you, and trust you. And they need to like you because people buy from people they like, even when similar or better solution exists elsewhere. The reason why that person might be your customer, you always go and buy that thing from that person. Sometimes it's not because he's selling the best, he's the one that's selling the best. No. Sometimes it's not because his own is cheaper than everybody own. No. Sometimes it can just be the customer service the person used to give you. Maybe when you come, it's the person is not always too rough. The person is always friendly. The person is always nice. You just seem to like the person. And that's why you just keep on, buying from the same person. It can be different things that can make you like someone anyway. But the point is, the quality of likability is going to help you more than not in sales. So what makes people likable in sales context? Similarly, we like people who are like us, just like I explained earlier. We like people who are like us. We like people that share the same value systems with us. We find common ground between these people. Once we find common ground, we are more attracted to this person. So that is where that psychographic position I talked about earlier comes in. Yes. So when you do this right, if you do this right, you get people, and most importantly, the ideal people you want, right, to begin to like you. And of course, once they like you, you have achieved KL, because people cannot like who they do not know. So the fact that they like you means they already know you. So you have built KL. All that is left now is T. If you just do 1 or 2 things, and that is join. Piam, you have closed the sale. Okay, so that's it. That is it for liking. And then the last principle of influence is scarcity. Very important. Scarcity. Scarcity influences people a lot. See, opportunities appear more valuable when they are less available. Write it down. Opportunities appear more valuable when they are less available. This is why limited time offers work. This is why anytime you create an offer that is for just a few persons, it is always rushed. That is why whenever you say, oh, this thing is going to expire in 2 days, it's just for the next 2 days, just 3 days, right? It is more valuable. For example, let's take this class for instance, right? It is just a 2 days class. You don't know when next I'll hold the next one, right? And that's what makes it valuable, because if you miss these two, let's assume there was no recording, right? But if you miss these two, you never can tell when next you see it again. So what? You grab this one that you have seen with both hands. But imagine I was holding like these classes every single day. They say class today, class tomorrow, next every day there is class. It's not going to be as much value again. Even yourself, you get tired, right? So this psychology is rooted in loss aversion, and I talked about this in details in the Emperor of Ash Bootcamp anyway. But then I'll still talk about it here for those that were not there. The pain of losing an opportunity is stronger than the pleasure of gaining something. I'll say it again. The pain of losing an opportunity is stronger than the pleasure of gaining something. We always run faster when we are running from something that we are afraid of, that we do not want to experience, than when we are running towards something that we are trying to experience. If you are asked to run 200 meters race, right? How fast you run, or how fast you run, yes, how fast you run and you're able to finish will determine the prize money you are going to get. And then you are in a situation where a lion is chasing you. Which one do you think you run faster in? Of course, the one that the lion is chasing you, because this life and death. You are running away from something. So you always be faster than when you are running towards something. Okay, so that's loss aversion. That's just how it is for humans. It's psychology. And that is why scarcity works, because whenever there is any form of scarcity, be it in form of urgency, that is in a limited time period, or in form of the availability, maybe it's only available to a certain number of persons, or only a certain number of slots is available, automatically people will miss out on it if they don't take action fast, right? So it is that fear of missing out that influences them. So you can use 3 types. There are 3 major types of scarcity. Most of you know just 2, right? Most of you know just 2. It is 2 that they have always taught you, but there are 3 major ones. Number 1 is the one you know all the time, is time scarcity, right? That is when we can also call it urgency. That's for the time. If only this expires, this offer is only available for the next 2 days, for the next 3 days, and all of that. Okay, that's time scarcity. The next one is what? Availability scarcity, and that is when you are using slots, only 5 slots, only 10 slots, only 2 slots, only 1 slot, only 100 slots, as you wish. That's availability scarcity. And the third one that they don't really teach you is what we call exclusive scarcity. Exclusive scarcity. Now, there are certain places that employ this, right? But they majorly use it for high-end products or services. For example, if you want to go and attend a school like Harvard Business School, you want to get an MBA, Masters in Business Administration, in a school like Harvard Business School, it doesn't matter if you have your school fees to pay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you are very, very intelligent. There is still exclusive scarcity. There is a way they are going to evaluate you, like with your own money that you're coming to pay. They will still evaluate you and screen you out and tell you, no, we don't need your money. That's exclusive scarcity. And when it's like that, it becomes even much more valuable, because by the time you are able to get in, you know that yes, you have tried, right? So that is another type of scarcity. But that only really works if you are selling a premium good, right? You're selling something premium. You get. So let's just focus on the 2 ones that apply to you, which is time scarcity and availability scarcity. Now, very important, your scarcity must be real. See, fake scarcity destroys trust instantly. If you say something is going to expire today, let it expire today. Don't bring it back tomorrow. And if you must bring it back tomorrow, give them a very good reason why you brought it back. And then when you see that one that you brought it back is going to stop again, please make sure you stop it. Because once your prospects see that you're only saying this thing as a kind of tactics that even if you say it's going to expire today, it's not actually expiring today. You can come back next week and you still sell it at that price. Then there's no need for them to take action. The scarcity automatically loses its effect. What makes scarcity to work is what? Fear of missing out. People are afraid that they're going to miss out, so they take action fast. But when they now know that all this one you're saying is just story, they are not going to miss out on anything. They can always come back next time and they'll still get it. What do you think happens? They are not going to take you seriously. They're not going to take action as fast as you want. They'll procrastinate. And as you well know, the more they procrastinate, the more likely they're not going to do it. So your scarcity has been real. If you say you have only 3 spots, show them that it's only 3 spots. Even if you take more than that 3 spots anyway, they will not know. But don't say you have only 3 spots and then you have posted like 5 screenshots of you that make payments. That's a contradiction. So even if you say you have 3 spots and 10 people paid, make sure you post only 3 spots. And after that 3 spots has finished, tell them it has finished. It's a simple tactic I use, or a kind of hack that I use. Even if I say it's 5 slots and I have like 12 people come and pay. Once I reach the 4th slot, I will not post again. Right? Once I reach the 4th slot, I will not post again. So I'll post 1st slot gone, I'll post 2nd slot gone, I'll post 3rd slot gone, I'll post 4th slot gone. And then I'll not be the remaining people that are paying, I'll not post it again. Until when I'm ready to close the offer. Because once you post the 5th slot, now people will think maybe it's not longer available. Right? That's number 1. And even if they come back and ask and you still say no, it's still available, then you have lost your credibility. Okay? If you must move it beyond the time that you said it will end, provide a very strong reason for why you did so. A simple tactic that I've seen lots of affiliates use that can also work is that maybe you hosted your class and you said only 10 slots. And let's say maybe you got that 10 slot, maybe you did not get it. But you deceive everybody that you got it. Sorry. And you want to open another slot. You now come back and say, now, I know that slot has closed and I do not intend to open it. But I've had so many people in my DM begging me that I should reopen the slot. This can be even more powerful if you can take a screenshot of someone actually requesting, for you to open the slot. Or you can make it up. Anyhow. But then you make it known to them that you are not just opening this thing now just because you want to or because you need it. No. But because so many people have been begging them that, if you hosted the class in the night, you can say something like, a lot of people have been begging me that they could not transfer, that they had the money cash. Some of them said their bank was having network issues, so they could not pay yesterday. So I've decided to reopen an additional number of slots. Right. So that's how you open your slots again without losing your credibility. But if you say 5 slots, and after the 5 slots finish, they have seen that the 5 slots are finished, and you just come back and you still keep on accepting, then, your scarcity is not going to work as it is intended to work. Okay? And then scarcity also works best when you also show them that you also show them what they will lose by waiting. Okay? Let them see that not just if they waste time that the price will go up, but show them all the other things that they are also going to lose. I don't know if you get me. Now, the way we typically market as affiliates is that you tell them that pay 15K today or pay 35K later, right? Something of that nature. You tell them that if they don't pay within this period of time, the price is going to go up, and you post that same thing for the next 6 months. God is watching you. Same 15K that you say if they don't pay today, they'll pay 50K later. 1 year have passed, they're still paying 15K. I've not paid 50K again. Anyway, those things will only work on your new leads coming in. As for those old leads that I've seen you be posting that 15K since, you've automatically lost your credibility, so they won't even bother themselves. Okay? But then you don't just stop at that. Okay, you don't just stop at if pay this now or pay that later. You also show them what the things they stand to lose by not taking action. So you can now come and additionally say something like, every month that you wait or every month that you keep on thinking about it is an extra 100 or 200K that you could have made, right? You can add a screenshot. See, this person started so day and he has already made this. Now, imagine you started since. How much do you think you would have made? But no, you want to think about it. You want to check first. You want to do this. You want to. So keep on waiting. The more you wait, other people are earning. Right? So you are showing them what they are losing by not taking action fast. And that makes your scarcity more effective. And you're more likely to influence them more. Okay? All right. So that's for the principles of influence. I think the last thing I just want to touch on, although there are still a whole lot, but I think would keep them for future classes. The last thing I want to talk about before we talk about the very last thing, which is game plan for 2026, is this: mental triggers that drive action. Okay, these ones now are things that you can start implementing ASAP. Right? Mental triggers that drive action. Number one, pattern interruption. This is like an attention grabbing trigger, kind of, right? You see, our brain tune out the expected and familiar. When you see or do something unexpected, you see that you get a lot of attention, right? That is why if you start a class with something like, before we dive in, I need to tell you this might not be the right thing for you, or this might not be the right business for you, or this might not be the right side hustle for you. It always works, because what is the opposite of what a normal salesperson would want to say? A normal salesperson would want to convince the prospect of how this is the best for them. But the fact that you are interrupting the pattern by telling them that, see, this might not even be for you, it's going to grab their attention. Okay, so pattern interruption forces people to pay attention. So when you use unexpected questions, challenge assumption, or approach problems from an unusual angle, you get people to pay more attention. And when they pay more attention, of course, they are more likely to take action, because they would get more relevant information. You get? So the important thing is that once you have gotten the attention from the pattern interruption, you need to deliver something valuable. You need to make good use of that attention that you have gotten. Okay? It's very, very important. That's number one, pattern interruption. Number two, the power of because. The power of because. See, adding because to a request dramatically increases compliance, even when the reason was given is weak. When you give people, because it's just giving people reason, right? A reason. You can only appeal to three parts of people, right? You can either appeal to their emotion, you can appeal to their logic, or you can appeal to their reasoning. So far, we have talked about logic and emotion. But another very important part that you can appeal to and get people to take action is reasoning. And reasoning is simply when you give people a reason. When you give people a reason to do something. Okay. In sales, always provide reasons for what you're asking. Right? If you're asking people question, try to give them context for why you're asking them that question. Because they are already asking, like, there are some kind of questions you ask a prospect, and they're like, why do you need to know that? Right? So if you remember when I was talking about my sample DM sales closing script, you see that some of the questions I asked had because in them. One of the questions I asked was, can you sacrifice at least 2 to 3 hours daily because this business requires time as well? Can you see that? So if I ask them, can they sacrifice 2 or 3 hours daily alone, it can still work. But then they're like, yeah, but why even asking me that? Why is that important? So by the time you now add because, you now give them the reason, they'll be like, okay, that's true. Yes, no problem. I have that. Okay, so that's it. So whenever you're asking people question, add because the because makes the request reasonable, even when the reason is obvious. Okay, so that's number two. I'm just gonna try to rush up on things now. Let me see. Give me a second. Mm, oh, not even this. All right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know. If you can hear me, let me know. Can you hear me? Is my voice clear? Can you hear me? Okay. One person can hear me, one person can't. Okay, you can hear me now. All right. Okay, so I just switched. All right, amazing. Okay, so let's continue. So, talked about mental triggers that drive action. So, number one, pattern interruption. Number two, the power of because. Number three, framing, right? Framing. Now, how you frame information determines how people perceive it. In linguistics, there's what we call intention and interpretation. And one thing you will come to discover is that intention is not usually the same as interpretation. What this simply means is that what your intention is when you are saying something does not usually equal to what people will interpret it as. That's it there. So you can say something, and the reason you say that thing is to correct somebody. But the person who interprets it as a kind of insult, like you are trying to insult him or talk down on him, that's it. So framing is very, very important for that reason, so that you can most of the time get your intention to match the interpretation of your prospect, so that the prospect can better interpret what you are saying the way you want them to interpret it. Okay, so now if I say something like this system has a 95% success rate, and I say this system fails 5% of the time, both of them are mathematically identical, both of them are correct, because for something to have a 95% success rate, it means it fails 5% of the time. But then the emotionally different, the way people would come to perceive it will be different. So when you say it fails 5% of the time, now the person is focusing on what? The failure. The person is focusing on the failure. And even though you are saying just 5% fail rate or 5% failure, it's still going to they are still going to interpret it to mean that means the system is not very, very efficient. That means there's a chance of them failing. Right? But if you say a 95% success rate, even though it's still the same thing, that 95% out of 100 is high. If you score 95 over 100, that's a very, very, like, that's an exceptional score. So even though you said the same thing, just the way you framed it changes the way the prospect interprets it. Do you understand? So you always want to frame in terms of gain for people that are afraid of risks. Then you frame in terms of losses for prospects motivated by avoiding pain. What this simply means is that when you want to talk about desire, when you want to talk about things that they should want or the things that they want, you frame it in terms of what they stand to gain. And then when you want to talk about the things that they would lose or the things that will happen to them as a result of not taking action, you now frame it in in terms of their losses. Okay. Now let me give you another example. if you were to be talking to a business owner and maybe you want to, let's say, run ads for the business owner, right? And you say something like, you will save $50,000 with by the time I start handling the ads for you, and this $50,000 will come from the wasted ad spend that you have been having before. The fact that you have been running ads that are not converting and you've been wasting a lot of budget. By the time I start handling it, you'll be able to save up to $50,000 because you won't need to spend that much for you to get the results that you seek. Now, or you say something like, see, you are currently losing $50,000, and once you hire me, I'll help you fix that. They are the same thing, because the fact that they'll save $50,000 when you start working means they're already losing $15,000 right now, right? It's the same math, but they have different emotional impact. And you will see that the one that is about loss aversion is going to be more stronger. Is the one that would touch the prospect more, because you'll be like, I'm losing $50,000. You get? They don't want to lose, right? People always run faster when they are trying to avoid something than when they are trying to get something. So you frame it in a different way, even though you are saying the exact same thing. Okay, you can do this in everything that you're doing, like starting from your messaging, the content that you post, your videos, your classes. You just frame things slightly differently. Frame things, right? Frame things. And then another one, the next one is how many have we mentioned so far? We mentioned pattern interruption, the power of because, we talked about framing, and now the next one is what we call anchoring, and this is very, very important. As a matter of fact, you have been doing this, but you don't even know that is what you are doing. Okay, so anchoring is when you mention a big number first, and then you give the price of your product as a lesser price later. Okay, so the first number mentioned in a negotiation becomes the anchor point for all future discussions. So if you say 50,000 naira first, that's the reference point, right? So that is where they now start from, and then we now either go down or they go up. That's the anchor point. But if you say 10,000 naira first, you are now negotiating from there. That is why if you go to a shop to buy something, you see, what the people they're selling there will always do is they'll first of all hit you with a strong price first. Do you get? Even if they know that last they are not going to sell it at that amount. But the fact that they started you with a high price would mean that is the anchor point. And people will now start from there and come down. Will now start from there and come down. Now imagine if maybe what he wants to sell is 20K. He will now first tell you like 50K. And now tell him, no be 10K. You say no, yeah, give me 40K. People now start negotiating. Maybe last, you might end up buying it 25K. Do you get? But if he starts, if the seller starts with that 25K in this Nigeria, they'll price in 5K. First price and 5K first, everybody go first blow. You understand? And it's going to be much more difficult to sell it even at the 20K because of the price he started with. Okay? Now that's how you apply anchoring in physical businesses. But when it comes to digital businesses, of course, you are not you're not selling fish, you are not pricing. You not come and tell the prospect after this course 20K, say everything be last price now, you're paying me 15K last. That's not what's happening here. So anchoring in digital space is a little different. You see, always anchor high if you are selling. See, show them the full scope package first, and then you now show them the main price. And the way we always do this, even in our BSL and in classes, is you now tell them, okay, so this is the total of all you'll be getting from this. You'll be getting social cost, which is this amount, and this which is this amount, and that which is that amount, and that which is that amount. The total value of this is 300K. But guess what? You're not going to be paying 300K. So you have anchored the price at that 300K. So by the time you now finally tell them that, they're not going to pay 300K, actually, just for the first 10 people, they are going to pay 10K. That 10K now sounds very, very cheap, right? Because The first one was 300k. You get, but if you just go straight and just say 10k like that, it will make it sound expensive, right? But when you first of all show them the value and tell them that this is the value of what they are trying to, or of what they are getting, by the time you now mention the other price which is lower, it makes it sound cheap and much cheaper. Okay, and even when, let's say you are a brand selling products, you can anchor against premium alternatives, right? So if you sell something that you know that there are other people who sell that same thing at a higher price, you can tell them that, see, this thing now, these people sell it at 100k, right? This company, they sell it at 100k, and they are not even better than us. We still have so feature and so feature that is better than theirs, but us, we are just selling it at just 85k, right? So by the time now you're anchoring on that, higher price of the other company. So prospect automatically 85k will now look cheaper. See, there's a reason why they want to buy, if they want to sell a Lamborghini, they'll place it next to a private jet or something much more expensive than the Lamborghini. Because if you place a Lamborghini next to maybe Toyota, no offense to Toyota people, but you place it next to a cheaper kind of car or cheaper kind of thing, it makes the Lamborghini look very expensive. But when you place it next to things that are even more expensive than it, all of a sudden it doesn't look that expensive anymore. In fact, sometimes it even begins to look cheap. Do you get? So that's what you want to be doing. You want to be placing your product side by side with something even more expensive so that yours look cheap. One of the strategies I once employed that makes a lot of sense was that after I maybe drop my price, right? I now ask the question: if you were to start, let's say a wig business now, where you are selling wig, or in fact, even if you were to start a POS business, because that's the most common business, how much would you need to start that business? I'll now open the group, they'll start replying. Some people say like 100k. And then, of course, you have to emphasize, you don't just tell them start POS business. I'll just say something like, remember, you need to buy the POS machine, buy, maybe pay for space where you sit, buy a chair, a table, umbrella, right? Do your design that you keep so that people know you are doing POS. And then on top of that, you still need to have money that you can start, like, can use as capital for the POS, so that when people come to withdraw, you have money to give to them. Don't forget. So with all of this in mind, how much do you think is going to cost to start a POS business? They'll now start be replying. Some will say 200k, 300k, 400k, as they want to see it, right? And I'll say that you can see that this POS business is costing you so much amount like this social amount that you have said it will cost to start, and you are not even guaranteed of making 200k per month. But then this business is going to be making you so amount every single week, every single month, and all you need to start it is just 15,000 naira. So all of a sudden, the 15,000 naira looks extremely cheap. Can you see that? Can you see that? They themselves will be like, it's true. As compared to other alternative, this one is a bargain. They want to pay. Do you get? So that's how you use the anchoring um effect. Okay. So I've mentioned a couple of mental triggers. Now let me just type that down. Mental triggers that drive action. We have pattern interruption, the power of because, framing, then anchoring. And then the last one is the decoy effect. Now this is really similar to similar to anchoring, right? But it's a little different. Now, when choosing between two options is difficult, adding a third option that's clearly inferior to one choice make the choice more attractive. That is just the simple ideology of the decoy effect. I'll go again. When choosing between two options is difficult, adding a third option that's clearly inferior to one choice makes that choice more attractive. So, for example, a lot of businesses use this by offering like 3 tiers. You always see something like basic, premium, and then maybe elite or enterprise. You just give it a name, deluxe. Usually, basic, standard, premium. That's the basic English. They can change the heading, but that's how it usually looks like: basic, premium, and basic, standard, and premium. Okay, and how this works is that for the basic, you have to make the basic very, very unattractive, so that the standard. See, this is it. You make the basic highly unattractive, and you make the premium highly expensive, so that automatically the standard becomes the logical option. Do you get? So this is it. For example, if I was to build a software for a company and now offer them 3 tiers, basic, they'll pay me $5,000, right? But then I can only do this, I can only do that. They'll be missing a whole lot of things, right? So many things will be missing. I'll not develop a lot of things in that software for them, but they'll pay me only $5,000. And then I now say the premium is going to be $50,000. I'm going to add this, I'll add everything they want plus so many more, plenty things. I'll add this for that 50,000. Or they can go for standard, which is going to be just $20,000, right? And then I'm going to give them exactly what they need, every single thing that they need, right? People logically would go for the standard. Why? Because the basic is not going to give them what they want, and the premium is just too expensive. That's what they are willing to spend. So automatically, it just makes the standard looks like the best possible option. I've used this a whole lot of times. Trust me, it works. Okay, you can try to implement this. Now, you might not, depending, if you can, yes, you can actually implement it in your affiliate marketing business, but then you'd have to reinvent the way you like. You have to restructure your offer for you to be able to make use of it. Because if the only thing you are selling is course, then how are you going to do it? You cannot. You just sell your course and be going away. But when you now create an offer, right, where you have other bonuses, it can now be that maybe the basic is just the course, nothing else. No mentorship, no support group, nothing. You just tell them that they'll collect the course and then they'll figure it out on their own. And of course, that is not attractive, especially when you're starting something that you don't know. Imagine I tell you that if you buy my job, pay this amount and you get access to my arts course, and then don't ever message me again. I'll not mentor you, I'll not guide you. If you have questions, I'll not answer. You are officially on your own. Of course, that's unattractive, right? Unless maybe you are an expert, you already know everything. All you just want is to get access to the course so that you can gain some little insights, maybe check one or two things, how I do this, how I do that. That's the only time you can pay for that. If not, that is highly unattractive. You won't want it. And then you can now put the standard, which is what you want most people to go for, that they are going to get access to the course, they'll get access to your support group, your community, they'll get access to your mentorship, they can ask you questions anytime they're stuck, and maybe one or two things that you want to add for them. And then you put it at the normal price that you want, right? The normal price you want them to pay. And then you now put the third option, the premium option. Make the premium option quite higher than the normal one. Let's say the normal one is 15K. Can now go and put the premium option at maybe 35 or 40 or even 50, right? You just put everything that was in standard and then you add maybe a couple more things on top. Maybe with that they'll get maybe another course, not too important course. Maybe you give them another different course, maybe a copywriting course. Just find something and add on top, so that to make sure that so that there'll be a difference between what they're getting for that amount and the standard amount. But you would always see that most people would always go for the standard one. And what this does is it makes the standard look cheap. Yes, it makes the standard look cheap, but not too cheap, because there's something better than it. And it just makes it feel like, okay, they are making the best option. people always want to feel like they are the ones that decided to do things on their own. They always want to have the feeling that they made the choice on their own, that they made their choices, even when we know that most of the choices you make are influenced. But people just want to have that feeling that they made the choice by themselves. So that is just what the decoy effects do. You already know that this is what you're going to pick. We have structured it in a way that at the end of the day, this is what you're going to pick. But you will still feel like you are the one that just decided to choose that one. Now we know that's what you're going to choose. As a matter of fact, we did it that way so that you choose that one. Okay? And that is what the decoy effect is. Ladies and gentlemen, and that is where I'm going to be calling it quits on this class, right? So what is left for us to discuss is the 2026 game plan, but then that's more of like the planning part, right? The planning phase. In terms of the knowledge to be passed across, that is where we'll be calling it quits for this particular class. So tell me, have you learned something today? Have you learned something? Let me know in the comments. Have you learned something today? Have you learned many things today? Because you cannot just learn something. You learn many things. Have you learned something today? Have you? Let me know in the comments. Mm-hmm. Have you learned something today? Have you not learned anything? Did you learn anything? Really? Of course, that's not possible. Yeah, it's not possible. Right, so I can see that you guys actually learned a lot, and I'm happy for you. Right, I'm happy for you. Okay, so without wasting much time, I want us to look at game plan. Now, this is just going to be a quick run through. Actually, a quick run through. We would have another session in the new year where we would look strategically, like you are going to design your game plan and you are going to submit. It's going to be like an assignment. You design your game plan and it will be submitted, verified all the checks and balances, show you where where you need to improve, and if it's good enough, and make recommendations and all of that. Just to give a little idea of what that would look like, your game plan for 2026 needs to involve just three major things. You don't need too much. Everything is going to carry a lot of things, but it's basically going to be divided into these three things. So you can as well see it as you setting three different goals. You can see it that way, but all of them just filter back into one single goal. So it's just one big goal that branches out into three goals. And for these three goals, you have plans, you have steps and plans and the rest that will help you achieve each of these goals. And these three different goals is going to be based on the three non-negotiables that I told you need to know yesterday, which is what? Lead generation, lead nurturing, and lead conversion. So for each of these three things, you need a game plan for each of them. You need a very extremely solid game plan for lead generation. How are you going to generate leads? How many leads do you intend to generate over the course of the next 365 days? How many leads do you intend to generate every month? How many leads do you intend to generate weekly? How many leads do you intend to generate daily? You have to define all of this. Where are you going to be generating these leads from? Is it going to be organic? Is it going to be paid? Is it going to be a combination of both? For the paid, is it going to be TikTok ads? Is it going to be Facebook ads? Is it going to be Instagram ads? Is it going to be Google ads? How are you going to do it? Are you going to run influencer campaigns? You have to define all of this. Okay? And for all of that, If you're doing paid, how much is it going to cost you? How much are you looking at spending to generate this number of leads within this period of time? All of this needs to be very well documented. Okay, that's for your lead generation system. And then look at the lead nurturing part. This is where you look at your sales funnel. How's your sales funnel going to look like? You structure it, right? Would you have a landing page? Highly recommend it. Of course, you should. If you're running ads, you should. Okay, landing page. Okay, how do they, from the landing page, where do they go to? Is there any message you have to send to them first? What are the things that you drop your indoctrination sequence on your communities and all of that? All of this needs to be prepared beforehand. Okay, and then lead nurturing also involves what? Your content game, things that you post on your status and follow up in order to nurture these people and convert them. So how are you going to be posting? What's your posting schedule? You post in the morning and in the evenings. How many slides do you typically post? What is your posting formula? Yes, what is your posting formula? We have things like VRL. What that means is value, results, lifestyle, value, results, lifestyle. We also have VVRR. That's value, results, value, results. It's just the way you decide to combine these things so that you don't just post randomly, right? You are posting intentionally. You know what you are doing, and this also helps you to avoid content block, because at any point in time, you know what you should be posting. You know when you should be posting valuable content. You know when you should be posting results as testimonials. You know when you should be posting lifestyle that shows people that, hey, yeah, this money I want to teach you how to make, I'm actually making it too. Also helps with your surface positioning, right? All of this, you need to actually sit down and come up with a game plan for it, a plan on how it's going to look like and how you're going to implement it. Of course, part of your lead nurturing is either your class or your VSL, depending on the one you're using. Okay, so if you don't already have your class script, how is your class script going to look like? If you currently do, how are you going to improve it? Because yes, you cannot attend this class and at the end of the day you are still using the exact same class script reason. No, that's a lie. You have learned a lot of things now that you did not know back then. So if those knowledge that you now have should reflect on your class script, right? And then don't always be the kind of person waiting for someone to build the class script and then you just copy and paste. Even though you have to copy class script, copy it, add your own, iterate some things, change some things, modify and add some things. Personally, I don't create class script from scratch. Like I sit and brainstorm my head from the beginning. No, that's so stressful. I pick different class scripts. Sometimes I pay for those class scripts, right? But I don't just copy and paste everything. No, I would funnel hack the class scripts, right? I'll reverse engineer class scripts. What that means is I try to understand, okay, why did this person use this thing where he used it? Okay, he started with this. Why did he start with this? Why did he start with something else? I try to understand the whole script from beginning to the end. And I say, okay, where did this person make some mistakes or did not tighten it very well that I feel I can add more? I can add something to it. Or what should I remove? What should I add? And all of that. And by the time I'm done, I would take that class script and I would improve it and I'll have my own personal class script. That's basically how I roll. So you want to do the same thing for yourself, right? Even if you already have a previous class script. Now you want to look at, now that you have a lot of this understanding that I've taught you, you want to look at that class script and say, okay, why did we use this here? Why did this happen here? Why did this happen here? And then you see, okay, fine, I understand how it works. Now, what can I add to it? How can I improve it? How can I make use of some of these precision techniques? How can I make use of pattern interruption? How can I make use of the power of the course? How can I frame differently? How can I use the decoy effects? How can I use anchoring? How can I use the law of reciprocity? How can I use social proof? How can I put authority like in scarcity? Right? How can I get people to make internal decisions? How can I demonstrate my psychographic positioning? You understand? All of these things you learned, you want to try and find a way to incorporate it into your class script. And if you are having a VSL, you created your own video sales letter yourself. Same thing applies. You are also, all these things, you also see how you can apply it on a modified version of your VSL. If you're using your affiliate link, you're still sending people to your affiliate link, well, there's not much you can do there. The most you can do is in the sales conversation itself, right? When they are done and they come back to you, how you discuss with them, and then how you post and the rest. That's much what you'll be able to improve on, but you will not be able to change what is on your affiliate link. Okay, but that's for lead nurturing. Okay, you want to see how you can be more innovative with your content. You want to see how you can be more innovative with nurturing your leads. That's the game plan, lead nurturing system. And then finally, lead conversion. So how exactly are you going to be able to convert these people from just leads into sale? How are you going to get them to pay? Right? What are the offers you're going to present to them? This is where you look at, okay, am I going to be applying anchoring? Am I going to be applying the decoy effect? Am I going to be making use of scarcity? Will I be creating offers? What type of offers will I be creating? How frequently will I create these offers? Right? How do I implement the bandwagon effect to get people to pay more? Do you get? You begin to look at, okay, what is my target number of sales? Of course, lead conversion. What's my target number of sales? How many sales do I want to make for an entire year? How many sales do I want to make per month? How many sales do I want to make per week? How many sales do I want to make per day? Then, of course, you try to link these numbers to your lead generation goal numbers. You cannot say you want to make 1,000 sales, but then your lead generation target is to make 5,000 leads. Just the play. Or it has to match up. Okay, the sales goals you set for yourself should match up with the lead generation um goals you set for yourself. Okay, try and always be conservative. Okay, try and be conservative with your goals. In other words, give yourself more than you would need to succeed. For example, if you think that you have what it takes to get 1,000 sales from 20,000 leads, that's great. But then you want to be conservative enough to give yourself, let's say, 35,000 leads as your goal. Even though you feel or you know that even with 20,000, you can hit that goal. Because the goal is not, when you set goals, sometimes it's not just so that you can hit that goal. But even if you don't hit the goal, the fact that you are working towards that goal would make you perform better than you would have if you had not set that goal. Right? That's how goals operate sometimes, of stretch. Okay, so that's that. Your game plan is going to be around these three major areas: your lead generation, your lead nurturing, and your lead conversion. You actually need to take out time, sit, and get this done. Okay, so in the nearest future, I would get back to us on the group very very soon. I'm not going to take that long. Maybe I want to have another class. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to record a video, kind of like guidelines on how to set it. Maybe I'll give you a template that you can just fill it and use it to set your game plan. Whatever, I've not decided yet. I'm still going to think about what exactly to do that will be most effective for you. Okay? And once that is done, I'll be presenting it rather to you so you can set up your game plan and get off to a flying start in 2026. All right. So I'll be willing to take questions if you have any, based on all we have taught so far, right from yesterday. Yesterday we were not able to take questions because of how the class ended. But if you have questions now, I'd be willing to take them. You can ask it in the comments, or you can just unmute your mic and ask. I'm giving everyone the access to speak, right? So you can just unmute your mic and ask your question, or you can drop it in the comments. Right, so you can ask your questions in the comments, or you can mute your mic and ask. Not possible I don't have any question. A good student always has questions. If you don't have any question, that means you're not a good student. That means you not really learn. No, you were just listening. You're not learning. There's a difference between listening and learning. You can be listening, but you're not learning. You feel you're learning, but nah, not really. So you should have a question.
Good evening, Mr. Victor. No. Can we ask the questions now?
Ask the question. Ask the question.
Okay, it's relating to framing. Though I was late, I joined very late. From where I met you, you're talking about framing in terms of what they stand to lose. Am I correct on that, or is there other parts of the framing I missed?
Oh, good. Well, I'm certain by the time you're listening to the recording, you get to know everything. But just to put it in a little bit of context, framing had to do with getting people to interpret what you intend, because there's usually a difference between intention and interpretation. It's not just about framing it around logic, no. It's just you saying whatever you are saying in a way that will make people interpret it the way you want them to interpret. Okay, so it can be in certain cases you'd want to highlight the losses. In certain cases, you want to highlight the wins. And I give examples like if you say something like um this business has a 5% fail rate, and then you say this business has a 95% success rate. It's still the same thing, because a business that has a 5% fail rate automatically has a 95% success rate. But prospects will interpret it differently, right? The 5% fail rate puts doubt in their mind. That means this thing can fail. There's a possibility of him failing. But when you see 95% success rate, they say, okay, it has very high chance of success, even though it's still the same thing. So that framing is very, very important. Okay. And I give another example where if you tell someone starting or getting access to maybe this program or this service or this software is going to help you save, let's say, 50,000, or you say getting access to this service, this program, this software would stop you from would help you avoid losing the 50,000 you are currently losing, or help you avoid losing 50,000. Now, the one that's going to be more effective in that case is telling them that they'll avoid losing 50,000, because you're telling them that they are losing money, right? And nobody wants to lose money, right? But if you tell them they'll save certain amount, okay, save, but nobody really carries saving on their head like that. Nobody really takes saving that seriously. But when you tell people they are going to lose money, right, they take it seriously. Even though if they are going to save 50K, that means they were losing 50K before. So now that you're giving them this thing, they will not lose it again. So you're still saying the same thing, but the framing, the way you framed it, changes how they perceive it, the way they interpret it, the way the thing registers in their mind. Do you understand? So that's really how framing is about. So depending on the context, depending on whatever you're doing, you just understand how you should arrange whatever you're trying to say so that it brings about the best effect in the mind of your prospect. Hope that's clear enough.
Yeah, I understand. I'll also learn more from the recordings.
That's good. Okay, I can see a couple of questions. Mohammed asked, so when creating my landing page, is it better if I just make it clear that they'll be making payments? Or sir, please help us describe the type of landing page to use. That's not. Let me just forget that second line. Let me focus on the first line, because that second part is not for me. When creating a landing page, it is important to filter, right? When you want to filter as much as possible to take out the unserious people and bring in the serious people. Now, the same thing I was talking about in psychographic positioning, that you become more magnetic to the people that you want by becoming repulsive to the people that you don't want. So when I create landing pages, I typically tend to use statements like, this is for you if, I now begin to list, if you are this, if you are that, if you are that. And then I can also say, this is for you even if, so that one I use it to address objection, even if you have never made money online before, even if you have tried everything and you have failed, even if you do not understand how the internet works, even if you do not have a laptop, all those possible objections. Yeah, even if you do not have 6 hours, 6 to 12 hours daily to dedicate, even if you do not have 1 million now to start the capital, that's to you know tell them that this is also for them. But then also very importantly, I usually include something like, this is not for you. If so, I'm telling them that, see, if you are among this category of people, don't even bother coming. It's not for you. So this is not for you if you are looking for a get rich quick scheme. This is not for you if you are looking for freebies, if you are looking for free things. Okay, so saying something like that already, a logical person or a smart person will be able to tell that that automatically means they will have to pay somewhere. So you don't actually have to be so rash about it and go and write it there that you are going to pay. Like, imagine if you are just entering a shop and immediately you enter the shop, they just shout for you. See, as they come, so you go pay. Like, how does it feel? It doesn't make sense now. Like, you are going to pay now. Why do you have to shout it at me? Shout it at me like that. You get? Or even if I don't know, at least allow me to come inside first now, and then you let me know. Okay, this is it. The way you are shouting is like, so am I that? You don't really see me finish like that. You get? So you don't have to make it so rash, but the way you frame it, this still framing we are talking about, right? The way you frame it, they should be able to tell that eventually they'll need to pay. So what I typically put in, this is not for you if you are looking for a get rich quick scheme. This is not for you if you are a freebie seeker who loves only free things. This is not for you if you are looking for only free ways to make money online. All right. If they see that it's not for you if you are looking for free ways to make money online, that automatically should tell them that means as they are coming, this is not a free way to make money online. Okay, so that's a way you can put it, but you frame it so that it's not too rash. You're not just shouting at them that after as you are coming, you will pay. You frame it differently so that it still fits into the context of your website. And then for your second question, help by describing, that's like, you can't even describe a way landing page looks. You build the landing page. That one has its own course. It's not even a class something. You understand? Because even if I explain from now to tomorrow, if you don't know it, if you don't see it, you'll not be able to do it. So that's why I'm not even going to go there. Khalid said, my question is about lead nurtured on my status. If I'm going to be giving value to my audience who are students, then what type of value should it be? Tips on how I save money, how I make more money, how I navigate through life as a student, school, both financial and academically. I just want to know if this is good enough. Then if there's more of any value. Okay. Yeah, sure. All you mentioned so far is very, very useful. And then you can see AI has made things very, very simple. Seriously. AI has made things very, all you just have to do is know how to prompt it very, very well. You can simply go to an AI tool like ChatGPT, Cloud, Gemini, and the rest, and write something like, I am an affiliate marketer promoting a make money online product to this particular kind of audience. What are some valuable content pillars I can have that to help me create content that will be valuable, educative, and informative to my target audience? You can tell it to give me at least 5 to 10 different content pillars. And it will give you 5 to 10 different content pillars fitting exactly what you've said. And the next thing you'll now be like, okay, so for each of these content pillar, give me 10 to 20 highly relatable content ideas that my audience would be able to. Oh yeah, that would be tautology anyway. But say highly relatable content ideas that I can easily transition at the end to selling my product. Very important. But you don't want to just give value for nothing. Always find a way to link back whatever you are teaching them to your product. Right? That is why you don't just teach them anything. But anything you are talking about, always find a way to link it back to your product. I can come now, and even if I'm selling a make money online product, I now come and start talking about, let's see, a very, very non-related something like relationship, right? It has nothing to do with make money online. But at the end of the day, I can link it back that, see, in all and all, as a guy, just make money, because if you don't make money, your girl won't respect you. Do you get? I just linked it back to what I'm doing. So whatever topic it will give you, tell you that it should give you ideas that can always be linked back to your products, which is selling a make money online offer.
And with that, you'd have as many, like imagine that it gave you, let's say, 8 content pillars, and now it's giving you 15 content ideas per content pillar. That's already 8 times 15. That's a lot already, right? And if you're anyone like me, or if you're anything like me, by the time you are creating, like you've taken those content pillars and started creating content, you yourself will begin to get even more ideas. So that's, let's say, 100 and something total content ideas you have gotten into it, can easily multiply into 300. In fact, you can just create these ones and you have enough content for the entire year. Okay, and it give you more ideas than I could ever give you. All right. So I hope that helps you, Khalid. Hope that is a good. And on this, not just for Khalid, for all of you. In case you're wondering how you can come up
It
with
did, sir.
content ideas. Safe.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much.
Okay. You're welcome. So any other questions? Any other questions? I'm not seeing questions here. Okay, so I guess there is no other question. Girls are not asking question. Women, what's going on? People, your brain is too smart. You already understand everything. Only the guys asking questions. What happened to the girls? Mary, Damilola, Chioma, Rosie, Khadija. Okay. In the absence of further question, I think we are going to call it a night. All right, call it a night. And like I promised, work on the game plan, how it's going to look like, and I'll get back to you guys on the group. In the meantime, by tomorrow I'll be uploading the recordings to YouTube, and then I'll make it available to you so you can go through it and document. Finally, very importantly, I want you to go and pepper the people in the group that did not attend. I want you to give them a reason to feel terrible that they did not attend, right? And you can do this in different ways. You can do this by hyping the class, how you learn so much from it, and how anyone that missed it should just go and hang themselves. No, don't tell them that anyway. That's wicked. Okay, well, you get the point, right? So you can do this by just giving just it. Don't tell them everything, or don't go and drop everything that you learned on the group so that themselves do not learn. Just drop like tiny, snippets of things that you learn. You can even snap your book, what you've written, and then use sticker to cover some parts of it so that they will not see it, and so that it will prepare them. When you have almost see something and finish, but they now cover the main parts, do it like that. Anything, you get it. But I want you to prepare the people that did not attend, so that next time, if I do something like this, they will definitely want to attend. Okay, so that's for tonight. Mecca, what happened now? Yeah, so that's for tonight, and good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. The reviews can come in. For those of you that want to say thank you, let me drop my OP. All right, good night, everyone. For those of you that want to say thank you, very important, enter my DM and ask for my OP. Yeah, good night, everyone.